Fontaine is a perfect vibe spot. It's been, I think, several weeks. It's been several weeks since I live streamed. I think it's also been several weeks since I've recorded literally anything for my YouTube channel. The stuff that went up in the last couple weeks was because I was on vacation. It's stuff that was recorded a while ago. But anyways, hello, welcome, VOD watchers, live viewers. If you are a VOD watcher, I'm going to be reacting to Zajef. I have not seen this yet, so this is a live reaction, and I did not set a camera. I keep on forgetting to set up a camera, and this was rushed, like all of my streams apparently are. It's fine. Anyways, where's my chat? I need my chat. I don't have my chat up. Give me a second. There's chat. Okay, got it. I'm put together. Since the last time I have streamed, I have, I think, hopefully, crossed my fingers, maybe not fixed the internet, but my computer is now connected through Ethernet. I moved, the router got moved upstairs in the same room that my computer is located in, so direct Ethernet to the router connection. Hello people joining the stream. So yeah, we're gonna react to Zajef anyways. Zajef apparently, the context for this, actually, oh boy, I'm so put together. I think, let's make sure this is positioned correctly. And visible. Yeah, there we go, it's good enough. So yeah, Zajef, basically in his stream from like sometime last week, it was about 5 days ago, the direct link is in the description. But Zajef apparently, in the context, I should have logged on to Polearms Only now that I think about it. Okay. Frick. I definitely should have logged on to Polearms Only. Okay, wait. Give me a second. Give me a second, turtle. No, wrong thing. Turtle. There we go. I'm gonna have some new photos soon, because I took some new photos while on vacation. Anyways, I'm gonna log out here, and then I'm gonna log on to Polearms Only, because that makes sense. Because the context in which Mr. Zajef was reacting to my Polearms Only stuff was apparently in the context of like endgame content for one specific weapon type only series. So, you know, swords only, claymores only, bows only, spells only, and polearms only. And he was mentioning Arlecchino as like, Arlecchino was so good that like she might solo carry a team. And that's an interesting, oh my god, okay, well, turns out the internet Ethernet solution did not fix the internet problems. Okay. YouTube, no, I turned off ads for the stream, and YouTube is telling me to insert ads. Oh, thank you, Sylvia, for being a member for 15 months. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how the stream is. I guess I am not gonna do Abyss content in this stream. If you're wondering why I haven't been doing, like, Abyss streams or anything. Internet. Thanks, Internet. Okay. Let's log in, though, to Polearms Only, because I figure that probably makes sense. Right. I'm reacting today to Zajef reacting to Polearms Only. So, you know, classic internet streaming YouTube culture shenanigans wherein reacting to the reactions and then, you know, it never ends. So, hey, it's the non-whale Eula team. It is, yes, because it's the one I think is better. I've actually been continuing playing that Eula team. Not like, oh my god, I'm gonna stick to it for eternity or something, but it's been the way I've been enjoying using Eula, at least in Overworld, a lot more. So, anywho's, bye-bye, Turtle. We're gonna react to Zajef here shortly. Get logged on to Polearms Only, because I figure some of the things he's going to say is going to be relevant for me to talk about. Go figure. I'm very curious what he reacted to, because for those unaware, I guess, I've ran Polearms Only for a while. I think the account is, I recently made a video because Polearms Only got to AR60, basically reflecting on the experience of playing on this account for so long. And this account is almost 2 years old. It'll be like 2 years old in a month from now. So yeah, it's interesting. As far as how many polls do I have a good chunk. I will actually have more because, well, I'll talk about it later. So, anywho's, the blah, 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 blah. I wanted to tell you when you were live to see your reaction live, but you went live anyway. Yep, yeah, I basically decided, like, no, it would be fun to react to it live. Because, I don't know, I'm genuinely nervous. I want to say I'm genuinely kind of nervous. I think he said mostly positive things. Probably. But Zajef tends to be a very critical individual, and that's fine. I tend to be a critical individual as well. So, I don't know, he's just someone that, like, Zajef is definitely the person that helped me, like, transition to learning about the game more mechanically. Like, he's definitely probably had the most influence on my technical knowledge and, like, how I have, to some degree, the things Zajef has taught in his videos, even if I don't, like, need 90% of what he says in his videos anymore, because he's definitely, like making videos for specifically people that need to learn these things, not, like, me anymore, but, because I already know the things he's saying, but point is, to some degree, the success on Polearms Only, there's a new abyss today, by the way, the success on Polearms Only is due to Zajef helping me learn things about the game, right? And I think the stuff that Zajef does is pretty cool. He helps people learn about the game more mechanically, and yeah, so here's the Polearms Only streak. I'm going to try to keep the streak going. And to be clear, I have, for anyone unawares, I have 36 starred every single new enemy cycle on Polearms Only for over a year now, like a year and 3 months, since Xiao originally released was the first time we 36 starred. I don't even think that abyss shows up in here anymore. But yeah, when Xiao released was the first time we started being able to 36 star on this account. And I was able to 36 star consistently every single new enemy cycle. I didn't do every single, like, 2-week reset, because it's the same, like, we've had the same enemy cycle here for the last, month already. And I didn't bother for a while because some abyss cycles in this account, particularly when we first started 36 starring, took a long time to clear. Like, there's been multiple abyss cycles that took me like 10 plus hours to figure out how to 36 star. So, anyways, we've been very successful in this account, and it's taken a lot of effort. The account is now at a point where it takes way less effort to 36 star, right? Like, if I had faith in my internet not being garbage, I would try to 36 star this abyss on this stream, and I might still try later, just for, showing that sake. But anyways, we'll see, right? So I don't know what Zajef reacted to. I don't know if he reacted to, like, my first 36 star clear at Polearms Only, which was over a year ago. And, like, if that's the case, I'm going to probably be reacting to myself on top of reacting to Zajef reacting to the inception of reaction is already becoming silly. So, anywho's, I hope he reacted to some of the more recent. I don't know. It doesn't actually matter, because he probably would enjoy the older stuff anyways. The older stuff was much harder, but now we have things like Chevreuse, things like Constellation 3 Raiden helps give me a lot more options. But I don't know, I'm very curious what he'll say. We have enough viewers now. Let's switch over to it. I'm gonna go. Wait, I have to find somewhere to plop Raiden's butt down so she doesn't make noise. Actually, wait. There's an easy solution to this. Just mute the game audio, you dummy. Okay. Blam. No more audio for you. Wait. What? What is happening? I literally went into the Windows control panel for, like, audio settings and told it to mute Genshin, and it's still making sound. Okay, well, give me a second. Open up the sound settings again. I swear I will start the reaction shenanigans soon. Where's my mouse pointer, Windows? Frickin' jeez, good lord. It's fine, it's fine. There we go, no more audio. Okay, now it feels weird. Okay. Good, I figured it out. So anyways, let's just there we go. Let's just react to Zajef. See what he says. I have not seen this yet. I watched the first, if you click the link in the description, he basically, the context for him talking and ending up watching my series is he was making a list of, like, okay, what are
Limmy with no Bennett?
Yeah, so he was basically making a list of, like, okay, with Arlecchino's release, she's, like, such a strong character that can, like, carry a team's DPS to a threshold that, like, maybe of weapon only type series or type accounts, you know, if you're only using polearm characters, maybe now polearm characters is a lot easier than it used to be before. I don't agree with that premise, and he actually ended up concluding that as much because when he actually like made a list of like all the polearm characters and all the sword characters and comparing like, okay, what kind of he was trying to conceptualize.
You can at least make one strong team, right? If you're doing this.
Yeah, so he's saying you can make one. He's saying you can make at least one strong team out of a polearm character right at the 1 hour timestamp here. Also, my chat is being overlaid on top of his chat. I'm gonna get rid of my chat. There we go, so you can see his chat. But anyways, like, oh look, that's common. Polearms don't have Animo or Hydro, so it's always doomed. Huh? Yeah, that's that. Yeah, polearms is always doomed. Always doomed. Truly correct. It's silent. I feel really weird not having any game audio. This is definitely the Abyss history of an account that is always doomed. Anyways, bring this back up. So we'll try to. We'll see. Anyways, point is, if you want to watch it, we might want to, like, for the full context, watch like the previous 30 minutes of Zajef here, because the context is he's trying to like figure out what the hardest only series is in like the end game context of clearing Abyss, right? And he ends up concluding, and this I do agree with. I agree with the end conclusion, not sort of the same reasons, and this is what I watched already. But it's not reacting to my content. He ended up basically concluding that polearms is the middle of the pack, swords is the easiest. Probably Catalyst should be pretty good, easy as well. But again, like properly like concluding this, and he says himself, like his chat is like, why don't you go do it? And he's like, I don't have all these characters, I don't have them all built. And like that, you really, to properly like try to like analyze this, you would have to have like an end game invested level account. So it's really hard to compare these things. So he's just like theory crafting live of like what kind of competent teams could you put together with only these characters in these categories to clear Abyss. And he ends up concluding Claymore is the worst because, yeah. And then Bow is probably second worst, which I agree. Polearms in the middle of the pack. And then Catalyst and Sword above it, which I agree with that general ranking. I think I'd consider Polearm and Catalyst pretty similar based on my understanding of Catalyst characters and Tars Blamo and his Catalyst only series. But anywho's, let's skip forward back to where I was before. About 1 hour and 35 or something was when I think he started.
What about Furina?
Okay, yeah, so he's reacting to Java the Cup stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, Java the Cup was trying to do spells only and failed, or swords only, something, I don't know. And yeah.
He's too close to the wall, exactly.
Let me know if the audio's on.
You do have to look away, though.
Okay, I think the audio's fine.
That is true.
Okay, let's skip forward a little bit. I think the reason I stopped here was because someone in his chat mentioned, oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, this person 36-star polearms only. So I don't
36-star on a polearm only account.
I don't know what video that is, by the way. I don't recognize my own video URLs. so yeah, I don't know if he's gonna watch this specific video or if he's gonna just browse my general like polearms only playlist. We'll see. Yeah, he said Pog, someone 36-star on polearms only. Yeah. So Luna cleared it without Arlecchino and polearms only. Yeah, I did.
Go here,
I've cleared
it's not gonna work. Like, yeah.
I've cleared Abyss a lot without Arlecchino and polearms only. Suffice to say, I don't think Arlecchino is necessary for polearms only.
You're looking away.
Anyways.
But he's just gonna teleport in place because he's trying to teleport, but he's not able to because there's no room in front of you.
He's talking about grouping problems, I think. Specific to
this
Abyss.
so I can fucking break these guys because I can't be bothered dealing with a barrage of attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise it would teleport out of bounds, and then you're like, oh, okay, well that kind of sucks. Alright.
Catalyst has Lisa, so it's an easy clear. True. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Catalyst has enough tools that it could. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Like, he is trying to teleport because you are too far from it for it to walk up, right?
I think he mentions that Catalyst. It's Catalyst compared to like polearms or swords.
What you have to do.
I think he mentioned specifically that like Catalyst might be harder than or easier than swords, depending on the Abyss.
Just give him enough room to teleport, and he will. Okay, your business.
Okay, yeah. So he's just talking about grouping. Grouping strategies is definitely one of those things there that like you have to employ a lot more when you're doing an only series challenge, but I think one thing people also forget is like when you're doing only series challenge, like the things I do or that you have to do in there in my account to clear or in general, like in a less optimal account, is like if your teams are less optimized for damage output, less invested for damage output because you don't have certain characters, don't have like as good artifacts, there's more onus to like then know about any mechanics to be able to group them properly like he was demonstrating there, right? And that's something that can be useful to anybody's account. Zajef makes meta roundup videos for Abyss cycles usually. I don't actually remember if he made one for this current Abyss cycle, but those videos are good at him showing like strategies you can use to deal with grouping different things.
Thingies applied pneuma to them.
Hey, it's Tars. Hey, Tars. Tars 36 starred on Catalyst
so
only.
Easy, though? Just Shenhe Raiden on one side and Zhongli Hu Tao conduct on the other? No.
yeah. Okay, Zajef is correct there. Polearms Only so easy and Xiangling Raiden one side. No. I mean, to be clear, Xiangling Raiden with Chevreuse now is actually good, but Raiden without constellations with Chevreuse might still be fine with Chevreuse C6. But like before the context of Chevreuse, it was Raiden was not a very good character on Polearms Only. She was only used for Hyperbloom without Raiden constellations and without Chevreuse existing. And yeah, Zhongli, Hu Tao, Candace is not a very good team. Candace cannot enable Hu Tao to vape consistently.
And that is not good. It's not good. We can.
Before Nuvilet would say Catalyst and Polearm were about the same. After his release, definitely Catalyst is easier. Yeah, because Nuvilet exists now, Cloud Retainer exists now.
Take
like,
a look at what they did.
There's lots of ways.
Maybe that's what they did. If so,
Why,
oh,
hello there.
God.
It's Abyss time again on Polearms
God.
Only. How exciting!
It is what they did, isn't it?
This Abyss. Which video is this? We 36 star, but at what cost? Is this the first one? Is this the first one? Oh God, I think it is. Oh boy. See, when I first 36 starred on Polearms Only, I think where is? Can I open up my channel? Oh boy, let's not do that. Actually, I don't know. Hopefully, I didn't just reveal private info here. Give me a second. YouTube. Let's go to my channel. Let's go to playlists. Okay, there we go. I can do this now. Let's go to my trash playlist. No, not the first one. No. Stop. I want the list of videos, not. There we go. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, so I don't even know if this was the first time I did it or not. I'm guessing it was. I thought it was. Yeah, it was this one. Okay, so which one is this? We 36 started about what it costs. Okay, it was an older one. Okay. So this is not the one he is reacting to is definitely going to be scuffed. Oh, good God. Okay, so the account is not in a scuffed state anymore, but it definitely was back then. So he's reacting to this one, what is this UI? What is YouTube doing with what is going on here? Why is this stuff over here? Whatever. Okay, it's fine. This cycle is particularly brutal.
Oh, God.
I did not make an edited video for this Abyss cycle in the.
Oh goodness.
Oh goodness. He sees Candace and his immediate reaction is, oh no.
No, okay, what the fuck is this? Is this Xiao Hyper? It's Xiao Salad. Ain't no way.
Yep.
God.
Oh my God, I didn't Candace burst. I lost like 10 seconds as I didn't burst in Candace. Whoops.
Goodness.
Oh man, the account was so scuffed back then. This is before I had Shenhe. So this team, right, is a team I still use today technically, but normally with Shenhe.
No!
Yeah, I definitely.
No global swirl!
Oh, I was still using Xiao back then. How adorable. How adorable. I was still plunging with Xiao back then. I don't do that anymore. The one.
No!
Xiao should be doing more damage. Why is he doing so little? Because
pop quiz, Xiao. Why is Xiao doing so little?
yeah, pop quiz. I wonder. Like again, compared to my knowledge today and like my experience with Polearms Only today, is wee baby time for the account. Is a year ago. Okay, the account is twice as old as it was back then. Okay, over twice as old, I think. Actually, what was the exact day that this was posted? I can't. Okay. Oh, it doesn't show me. Okay, I don't know. A while ago. Oh, February 23rd. It was over a year ago. So, yeah, you get the point.
Little damage.
Why is Xiao doing so
Any
little
knowers?
damage? Who knows? Who knows? Should be doing more damage. Why is he doing so little?
Why would Xiao be doing a lot less damage than he's supposed to in this situation?
Yeah, who knows? It might be that we don't have...
Raise your hand if you have the answer.
I have the answer.
Not a single buff? No,
I have the answer.
Ah! I see the right answer in chat.
He's short.
Chat, it's because wallflowers actually have pretty
All the-
significantly
all the-
higher
yes,
base
yes.
resistance than other enemies.
Yes. Yep. I did not know this at the time, to be clear. Well, I might have known it at the time, but not actively remember at
Base
the time.
resistances are 35% instead of the base 10%.
Yep.
Until you stun them.
Was this Abyss the 3.8
If you
one,
wondered why
aka
your
one of the
damage
hardest
goes
ones?
down when you're-
I have no idea. If it was a year ago, I
When
don't
you're
know.
fighting...
Can I pause? If it was a year ago, I think it was more like 3.4, 3.5 is when it should have been. But I don't know exactly.
The wallflower is here. That's why.
This was probably... Realistically, this was not one of the harder Abyss cycles. I don't think, but
It's also
could
significantly
be
higher
wrong.
against their own element.
I don't remember what was in this Abyss cycle. So, yeah. Oh, that was maybe a good attempt if I didn't separate the one. God, frickin' dang it, man. Let's see. Yo, bro, can you stop?
Wait, he can't
Are you
go
gonna
this world. That's
hold
Xiao,
on?
not
I
Sucrose.
swear
I'm an
to God,
idiot.
I pressed
Yeah,
hell
yeah,
for
yeah.
like 3 separate instances. I was slightly confused for a second that Zajef mentioned Guoba swirling with Xiao, but I was like, I was not confident that Xiao couldn't Guoba swirl, so I was just like, okay, whatever. Okay, so yeah, Xiao cannot Guoba swirl. I didn't think so. This was definitely one of the easiest abysses overall. Hard said in the chat. Yeah. I think so. I don't think I was even doing any grouping things in this abyss. Was I? I don't know. Yep. I'm gonna redo this. Alright, I'm trying these teams now. I swapped 2,000 Zhao's weapons back.
Okay.
It's
Interesting.
yeah. So I can talk more about like Hu Tao. He talks about Hu Tao I think a little bit earlier before he started doing this. Hu Tao is an interesting case on Polearms Only. That team should function. Rosaria doesn't. Like, the context of Polearms Only is like Rosaria is there because you want to put a team member that does something that's not nothing, right? So at the time in that account, that was definitely probably one of the best options. Nowadays, I can tell you Shenhe instead of Hu Tao in that top team is way better. But because I want Hu Tao team to obviously perform properly, with her weapon. This is the same teams that worked 3-star in this chamber previously when I had, slightly lower level talents and whatever. So this should go fine. It still might take me a few attempts though.
What is that team? This first team is basically just Monopyro Hu Tao with Rosaria as an off-field damage dealer.
That is correct. Rosaria needs a lot of ER in this team. It's not great. Rosaria not having Bennett, not having Shenhe, not having high ER needs in this team makes it quite hard. I don't remember if I had C1 Hu Tao in this. I know I think I did have C1 Hu Tao. I must have. But my Hu Tao was definitely much less invested than it was nowadays. Even if her constellations and weapon hasn't changed, I have much better artifact options and better team options in general for Hu Tao.
Gonna hit a melt every 3 to 5 business days. Oh no, you melt almost
every
single one of Rosaria's
every Rosaria's hits, yeah, as long as circle impact is allowing. Shenhe is just better than Hu Tao anyways, Sylveon said in the chat, in my
Yeah,
chat.
thank you, Lud. You guys can find the link to this video in chat, and... Yeah. Well, we're not gonna watch the whole thing, we're just watching a part of the Abyss part. So if you guys are interested in seeing this whole thing, make sure you go click on the link and take a look.
Yeah, I think this Abyss was definitely one of the easiest ones. This Abyss nowadays in Polearms Only, I would clear the first try without a problem. I could be wrong. I don't remember what the rest of it is. I need to know what the next chambers are. Oops, let's not do physical damage. Probably shouldn't even have used Zhongli's shield, Zhongli's burst there, but maybe it was relevant. There might have been enough time based on the cooldowns lining up. I don't know.
Okay.
As you can see, that was obviously
Child's name is Soluna. Yes, it is.
Better than Hyper Bloom side as far as single target goes. Let's see how Hyper
This is from
Bloom
a year
does
ago.
here.
Alright, I guess this is an old event.
This I just gotta try to get them to teleport over here. And I shield bash them. Oh, that's not ideal.
Aware.
So that was that. I'm glad that was in the video. Like, that's a problem with Candace, but also Candace can be a grouper. That was very dumb. I skilled with her in the worst possible spot, split the bopper flowers apart. Very dumb. That was fine.
Great character, Saj.
Candace is unironically better than people give her credit for with her C6. Whatever. Oh, I don't have Hydro going. Okay, I bungled this. I bungled this hard. Alright, I'm just gonna restart.
Oof.
I can kill those stupid flowers in one cycle if I do it properly. I just have to not goof up. Actually, particularly this time, the problem is that... Yep. I need to make my videos... if anyone hasn't noticed, like, my any Abyss content, I very much more aggressively cut down nowadays.
Brain.
I forgot I did that.
If you don't look at them, they don't freaking teleport to you. It's so
The real
obnoxious.
challenge account this guy did was weapons only. Every wish goes to weapon banner. It was rough.
Oh god.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
yes.
That does sound rough. What the hell?
Yes, it was fucking
That's
terrible.
basically a no wishing account.
It is basically a
Slightly
no wishing
better,
account.
I
He's
guess.
correct. It's technically slightly better. Technically slightly better than no wishing account, but it's basically a no wishing account. That's how bad weapons only is. This is a Dendro team, where we're watching through a live stream, so the bitrate is going potato. You can't even see anything. There we go. I'm using that to break their shields, by the way.
It's not quite Xiao Salad. It's just Xiao as a shield breaker.
Yep, you got it.
3-unit Hyper Blue team.
Yep.
That's kind of funny, though. That's kind of based. That is kind of based. Yeah, I mean, this Abyss was more about surviving this part than it was about the DPS check.
Yeah, and Xiao is very good at
So it's
letting you
definitely
survive.
one of the better Abysses for a challenge like this, because you can just reset until you play it well enough to survive.
Oh, stop freezing me, you butthole. Oh my god, the freezing. I need Candace there. My brain's getting thrown a loop. Yep.
Very
Okay, there we go.
nice.
Okay. Thought I was getting a little bit close there, but the chaos of Hyper Bloom succeeds in the end. Alright, so
Oh, that's kind of cool.
this is
Right,
where
these seasons.
since we
Oh wait,
restarted-
different teams for Chamber 2.
Yes, that was definitely a thing I had to do for quite a while on Polearms Only. I don't really have to anywhere near as much anymore, but very much was like do target slightly different Abyss chambers with slightly different teams and slightly different strategies for quite a long time. You said you don't plunge with Xiao anymore. Ask again after we're done reacting to Zajef. I'll talk about Xiao more.
Okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Of course, you're definitely gonna want to play Xiao on the Kenki chamber.
Yeah, so like Xiao back then was like a competent AoE damage dealer.
And the first chamber.
The options we have nowadays are like, oh, the consecrated beasts were in there. Nice. Okay, this was not an easy
what's the
Abyss.
first wave for this? Again?
This was
I for war.
it lowers the damage quite a lot, so.
It doesn't show.
I don't know why I cut the first part out. Whoops. I couldn't tell you why I did that. Probably because it was just like a bunch of random... Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was just a bunch of random buttholes. So... Yes, Xiao was still on BB back then, by the way, but still on a DPS. He still basically got his same BB build.
Like, kind of tragic. Arlecchino is gonna help an account like this a lot, by the way.
Yes, but no. Okay, notes of things to talk about, I guess. Xiao no longer being good plunge AoE DPS. He can still be useful potentially, to be clear, but he's mostly just like he's used to swirl and get VV. We have better AoE options nowadays. Arlecchino will be I think Arlecchino will be very, very good for the account. I don't think if Arlecchino didn't exist, I don't think it'd be that problematic. Oh, this. Okay. I use Sino. Yeah, yo, Sino is not great. There we go. See, that's what I wanted to happen. I wasted Thundering Fury proc, so well. This is C2 Sino because I got...
That's kind of cool.
Oops. I got C2 Sino in trying to get C6 Candace. So, you know. And, yeah, bring the beast back. I agree. I like the beasties. Okay. Is that all he reacted to here? Okay, and then I think he goes back to...
Arlecchino.
So, he didn't react to anything...
Are there any supports that are tall female models?
On Polearms? I don't know. I don't know what the content
Hu Tao
is.
isn't tall. Oh yeah, true. But big Hu Tao is tall. Area. Stream. So before I have to go, we can quickly go do Star Rail dailies.
Okay, he's switching over. Okay, cool. So we're done. We're done reacting to Zajef. So thank you, Mr. If Zajef is watching this for some godforsaken reason. Oh my god, I have 255 viewers. Hello. Let me turn on the audio and we'll talk about some things. So he only reacted to one video from like a year ago, clearing that one Abyss cycle. Alright, there we go. Look, audio. And so yeah, let's talk about Xiao real quick. Xiao was used there to break the shields, and then he was using the Kenki team, or against the Kenki chamber, because the Kenkis are an AoE situation, and back then, recently, the last time they put the triple Kenkis in Abyss, you can't group them easily anymore, which is annoying as crap, but anyway, that doesn't matter. Xiao does not have the AoE damage performance required compared to other options. The core, the core thing with any Abyss cycle on Polearms Only is like looking at what the enemy lineup is, right? And being like, okay, where can I view enemies? There we go. So, okay, you know, we got this enemy set up here, and then obviously playing through it once, and then seeing how the enemies spawn, how they're grouped together, what I need to do to group them, and figuring out like how much AoE damage I need, if I need any specific elements, like these things have a dendro shield, so you know what, and this thing has a pyro shield, so, you know, having Electro, kind of nice to get through the dendro shield, and having Hydro potentially pretty nice to deal with the pyro abyss mage. Wow. And then like this situation is a bunch of specters. You want AoE damage, but also I need damage of multiple types because immune to Electro, immune to Dendro, immune to Pyro. So like this is a situation where I need multiple different damage types, but also like want AoE for this whole situation. I also don't want shielders, and Zhongli being one of the main defensive units on the account, that's relevant. Like these things are annoying. And the second side is just, you know, single target DPS check, except for the chicken's super easy. The chicken used to be miserable, by the way. It took like annoying like RNG optimization to get clears when the chicken was involved because its moves. The cube is kind of a similar story, but there's a little bit less annoyingness with it wasting time because the chicken does a stupid running move, and yeah, it is not hard to deal with anymore. And this thing is just annoying. And then this is, you know, Capellius is just don't die check, and then also deal enough damage check, which is not that much of a problem anymore. When Capellius was first introduced, this thing was a heck of an annoyance. Not much so anymore. So yeah, the general strategy, right, is like, okay, in this Abyss Chamber, being that none of these things are animo immune, Xiao could actually probably be pretty good still here nowadays. It's just that being able to, you know, what do we have to make Xiao do damage? We have nothing. There's nothing to buff Xiao on this account other than like putting Noblesse on a character, putting Tenacity on a character. And the best way to like make a Xiao team do meaningful DPS is, do I have it configured? I don't think I do. No. So the best way to make Xiao do, oh my god, meaning a Xiao, like make a strongest Xiao team possible. Xiao's can be a decent AoE focused DPS. Okay. And Xiao is an animo unit. You can either build him with like Vermilion, Maréchaussée Hunters, or we can put him on a DPS set for of VV. And he might be able to do pretty competent damage on VV even. But then he can also buff offielders. So that's generally speaking what I've been doing, and I believe that's what I did in the video he reacted to. So doing something like this, where you're doing Shungling, Rosaria, and I never really bothered trying to swirl one element or the other to buff them. I just did plungy things. But yeah, you're doing AoE, some AoE Pyro, AoE Cryo. These two characters are doing good damage of their own, and then Xiao can buff them a little bit while doing his own plunge AoE damage, and then Zhongli was usually the defensive unit here. And in today's case, because of Zhongli being a shielder, he wouldn't be good for the specific chamber that's in this current Abyss, because they would get Pyro shields, which would be a pain in the arse. So I wouldn't want Zhongli in the last slot here, but generally speaking, it would be Zhongli, right?
Sure.
And that can be pretty good. But like, again, there's another character, there's Shenhe now.
What exactly is teamwork?
Xiao does have advantages over Shenhe in this team, in that Xiao can be used to do animo damage to like all the specters, whereas the Pyro Spectre, there's, you know, potentially the specters could be cleared a little bit faster. But basically, Shenhe reduces Rosaria's ER needs, so Rosaria can be built for a lot more damage, and offers for, you know, less ER needs also on Shungling even potentially, because of Fav on Shenhe. And all in all, this team is a lot stronger. As far as like an AoE team, the only problem it has in AoE is that like Shenhe's buff can run out pretty fast in AoE. So like in this current Abyss cycle, that second chamber with all the specters would actually like eat up Shenhe's buff like with one skill on Rosaria potentially, if it hit like 3 enemies at once. So all in all, it's like, that's the problem, right? Is like the main context in which I can think of making a Xiao team that's doing competent AoE damage have been replaced with other options now. And therefore Xiao gets relegated to VV duty, most notably for something like, say, a good option is this is labeled as occasional vape. It's actually just mono pyro Hu Tao with Xiao doing VV duty, right? That's basically what this is. In the videos Jeff reacted to, I think I used Rosaria in chamber 1 instead of Xiao here, because I was using Xiao on the other side. And that's kind of the game you have to play when you're limited by only polearm characters. You got to figure out what sacrifices you need to make, or sacrifices or benefits on one side or the other. And Xiao, just generally speaking, has more relevance for VV support than he does for being like a decent AoE damage dealer, because we have none of the things to make Xiao's damage be ramped up to a degree where it's relevant enough to specifically spec a ton into. Like I can show you a top, like, I think this is a top 1 or 2% Maréchaussée hunters. I'm not gonna change all their builds. I think I have access to a top 1 or 2% Maréchaussée hunters. I'm not gonna go put it on Akasha to double check. But I have a very, very, very good Maréchaussée's build available for him. And Vermilion, to be clear, is going to be a little bit better on Polearms Only than Maréchaussée's, and I'm trying to slowly work towards it, but Arlecchino's artifacts are going to take a little bit of priority. I got this recently. And I think, is that the only piece I have in Vermilion? Yeah, I think it is. That's an EM piece, so okay. Yep. Hey, look, thanks for the double crit. Anyways, let's just switch to Maréchaussée's, because Maréchaussée's is still obviously very, very good, right? And can I do an onset gun? Nope. No, I cannot. I don't think I can. Okay, maybe I don't have as good of a Maréchaussée's build as I thought I had. Could potentially level up an attack goblet. What about circlet? I don't know if we're doing crit damage or crit rate. Okay. Okay. Maybe it's not top 1% then, because I don't necessarily have the greatest of attack percent timepieces. This is not bad, but it's not amazing. All right, and then Animo damage goblet. Let's see. I think it depends on the ER needs, but this is probably the best one. Crit value 65, so we're at 100% crit rate. 233 crit damage, 127 ER. He probably needs more ER than that. Switch to that for a little bit more crit, because we don't really need... Yeah, it's a little bit better. Okay. Yep. So there you go. 2k attack. 61% crit rate with Maréchaussée's means he's functionally at... having a stroke. Don't worry about it. He's functionally at like 90-some% crit rate, 245 crit damage, with 2k attack, pre-buffed. Rosaria should realistically be on like Noblesse in this team, and the Zhongli is on Tenacity. And let's go see what we get for damage on Xiao. It's like, if you saw in that video, he was getting like 35k or something. And that's with like a VV DPS build. I don't think this is going to be that much higher. Xiao was pretty reliant on being buffed by other things. I don't have the full Abyss unlocked because it reset today. Okay, we're gonna go... We're just gonna go fight Masanori or something. Yeah, so Xiao with Rosaria on Noblesse. Rosaria would need... Rosaria's not gonna be able to burst her rotation with her current build because she's configured for a... not being a solo crane. Her ER needs... I don't have her C4 in particular. Her ER needs are like in the 180... Oh, maybe she is. Okay, never mind. Her ER needs... And this is a way more invested Rosaria than I had back then. But anyways, her ER needs are in the like this territory as a solo cryo or potentially higher. Particularly because of the fact that she wants to use multiple skills per rotation and she's not using multiple skills per rotation in this team. Because Xiao wants to spend a bunch of time on field. Also, I have C2 Xiao now. That doesn't really matter though. I'm going over here to refill my energy real quick. Do I have Bloom off? I think I have Bloom off. I probably have Bloom off for... Yep, I do. There we go. I like Bloom on. I know some people don't like it. I like it. Yeah, Bloom is just a graphics thing. I think makes Genshin look a lot nicer. So we'll see what happens here. Rosaria Melt still using emblem for her. No, she's on Gilded Dreams. But yeah, in this team, Noblesse for buffing Xiao would be better for Xiao's damage. That's what I should have specified before. Let's set him to higher damage, or higher health, sorry. And let's do this. It's not that this is dysfunctional, again, to be clear. It's surprisingly okay. Alright, bubble. Right, okay. I expected like 40k. I don't know. Whatever. Can you go to your next phase, please? Alright. Also, yep, 127 ER, not enough. Oh yeah, look at Rosaria's energy. Oh boy. And then, oh yeah, and Xiangling, to be clear. Xiangling is configured with 248 ER with engulfing. This is like a 280 ER. Well, it's more like functionally 265. Because it depends on when the particles get caught and whatever. So like this could be rotated a little bit more often, blah, 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 blah. But like, she wasn't even at half with 250 ER. You see the problems in this team. And yeah. Didn't crit. I am better at dying with Xiao nowadays. I was gonna say I'm better at doing cancels nowadays. I don't even think in that video that Zajef reacted to I even attempted a normal attack cancel with Xiao. Because I don't think I knew about it. It's fine. Yeah, lack of an attack buffer is really hurting. Yes, you are correct. And that's why like I do think Vermilion would probably be a good 10 to 20, like an equivalent Vermilion set would probably take Xiao from doing like the 35k there to probably in the neighborhood of 40k plus. But it's not like, oh wow, that fixes this team's problems, right? Like it obviously doesn't. Especially when you go into the context of literally just replace Xiao with Shenhe in this team, and the team suddenly like works quite smoothly, right? But what I want to also compare here, all right, let's go put my DPS VV set on him. So this might be exactly what I basically had, not for Rosaria and Xiangling. Their builds are definitely different, but this might be near exactly what his build was in that video. So we're doing VV pieces that are varying degrees of not great compared to the other artifacts I have available. Wait, let's put this back on Hu Tao. So let's see, was it this piece? Yep, must have been. And I think it was an onset goblet, which means, hey, we can do an offset timepiece. Or a circlet timepiece. Yeah, that's a much healthier amount of ER, which means we don't need ER in this piece. So let's just sort by crit rate, crit damage. And looks like that's got some crit rate, crit damage. Yep, there we go. Okay. We'll do that, because that had attack percent on it. 70%, 193, 138. This is probably very, very close to the build I had in that video, if not exactly the same. Like I know this was I think one of the first 5-star artifacts I got in the account actually, and I got these VV artifacts. I've had these VV artifacts for a long time. This might literally be the exact same build that Xiao had when he had his Staff of Homa build in that video. So you know, a little bit less crit obviously because Maréchaussées are not, but similar attack stat. It's not going to be that much worse, and in fact, if you actually did like the team DPS calcs for once you figured out like which element was being swirled most often, and you know configure the team DPS, having VV for Xiangling and Rosaria's damage might be genuinely a lot better. So, you know, you're gonna see it's not gonna be functionally that different, despite, you know, Maréchaussée's on paper being so much better for Xiao, and that's because, like, Xiao needs things that are not artifacts to make his teams feel good, is basically what it comes down to. So he's not technically useless for DPSing, for things like I showed in that video, for shield breaking, whatever, because he can do things like when there's three, you know, like there's a bunch of mages around together, he can swirl the elements from their shields to be able to clear the shields on the other mages. That's what I showed in that video. He's still going to potentially be useful for that, because Animo has to be able to be the one to do that. Animo is the one that can swirl the elements around, right? So it's just that it's not going to be like one of the default teams I tend to want. God dang it. Okay. Whatever. Look, we're getting 30k. I'm not gonna lie, this feels better. Did I get any energy particles? Where did my energy go though? Okay, whatever. Ignoring energy needs on the characters, right? That felt better. that felt better to me, and I think that's because I was noticing the damage increase from VV buffing Xiangling's and Rosari's damage, right? I didn't actually notice what the numbers I saw on screen were, but you get the point. Why is OBS said it was streaming at a higher bitrate than I configured it to? Whatever. You get the point, right? Like he was doing what, 35,000 versus like 31,000 something and change. So he's doing 10%, like 13-14% less damage himself from his plunges. Oh well, okay, when you factor in the crit rate, it's much more. It's probably more towards 20%, right? But he's doing 20% more damage on this build, and this is with a much worse like level of artifact quality, right, compared to the Maréchaussée's build. So it could be improved more for his personal damage and probably get towards like the 10 to 15% worse range for his personal damage. But and 10 to 15% is like a lot in Genshin terms, but in the actual amount of damage that was dealt, we're talking like 4,000 damage per plunge, right? 10% when you're doing 100,000 damage per plunge is 10,000 damage times however many plunges. 10% or 20%, you know, times only when it's only 3,000, 4,000 damage difference is not that much, right? So he just doesn't deal enough damage most of the time to be worth specking to. That's kind of all it is. So I don't know. I think you get the point. And yeah, the aspect of buffing these two's damage, one of the two or both of them, I don't know, whatever element got swirled. When you factor that in, I think the team DPS increase is meaningfully higher. But again, like the ER needs make it like not actually. The ER needs make it not actually worth the spec into this team versus the other one. One of his recent videos, he said Zhongli is the best Hydra applicator. Yeah, I specifically said like that was the gimmick for the video. The specific idea though was actually that Zhongli is the fastest Hydro player. Zhongli with Candace's infusion, which because of the fact that Candace is providing the infusion, it means that you could very much say it's actually Candace still. So it was just a silly title. But Zhongli has a very fast normal attack chain, so with Candace's infusion, you can apply more Hydro in a shorter window than Candace can if she was on-fielded, and that's basically what I was comparing, just for the silliness of the gimmick. And notably, that is a fast enough Hydro application to enable Xiangling to consistently vape. So the team idea was doing, you know, Candace infusion and then doing some off-field damage of her own, infusing Zhongli on a normal attack focused damage dealing build. I think I used Shimenawa's, but Shimenawa's has problems on Zhongli. It just makes it really awkward. It would be better to use a different set on him, but it's what I had. Xiangling's ER needs are really annoying this team, and then Yunjin was what I had on Polearms Only. If I used Bennett instead of, like, there's a Polearm Only account, but if I had been on a normal account for the Hydro Zhongli, Bennett instead of Yunjin would have made this team so much better, like actually surprisingly competent, is my guess. Yunjin just has issues. So, anyways. It was a really fun video to make. It was mostly just a silly idea. But yeah, the end conclusion of that was like Hydro Zhongli is not really good enough for Polearms Only. But yeah, the core concept was just trying to abuse Zhongli's fast normal attack chain to be able to enable Xiangling to vape consistently, and it does work. It's just, yeah, it's not the best team overall for this account. But yeah, so this team in comparison, let's show this quick, right? So this team in comparison, let's switch Rosaria to a not ER timepiece. I think this is the one I normally would use. Yeah, about 2k attack. Normally I would actually use Staff of Scarlet Sands, but I don't feel like swapping weapons around, so we'll just leave her on this not great crit ratio build, but 140 ER is generally the comfortable amount. Yeah, this team is the same team, but with Shenhe instead of Xiao, right? So it should be I can tell you, I mean, I've used this team a lot. It feels a lot better. Reducing the ER needs lets you amp up Xiangling's and Rosaria's damage to a meaningful degree, and lets you use multiple skills per rotation on Rosaria. Has some more potential circle impact problems, so it's not like 100% better or anything. But you get the point. Hopefully you'll be able to see it here shortly. Alright, do this. Don't get a single fab proc. Okay, there we go. Other Shenhe. Okay, I mean, I didn't get a fab proc from Zhongli. That caused a little bit of goofiness there, but you saw the point, right? Like, and my ER needs were fine, right? I removed the ER timepiece from Rosaria. She was dealing like 60, 70k on a skill or something. That team is just a lot better in general, in a generalized context, than the Xiao variation. And that's the best variation of a Xiao team I can imagine on this account. I'm not saying I'll never use it again. It might be relevant for shield breaking, might be relevant for the Magu Kenkis. With like it was in that video, but yeah, the as time has gone on, the context in which it makes sense to use Xiao have gone down and down. Like even like Chevreuse being released recently has reduced the context in which I use Xiao, because Chevreuse can do what Xiao used to have the role for, which is like, hey, Xiao can do 40% pyro resistance reduction with 4P's viridescent, right? So, you know, the for mono pyro Hu Tao, but now Chevreuse does that, but without having to faff about with swirling, and with having a lot more strong options in general. So, yeah, Xiao's just, yeah, as time has gone on, he gets less use. That's kind of all it comes down to. I still think he will get used occasionally for VV and whatever else, but it's not a great situation for him. So, anywho's, the fact that this team is so good is so funny. Yeah, this team, I think they're referencing in my chat. Oh, I didn't bring the chat back. Whoops. I think the person in my chat was referencing the Melt team, but I won't C1 Shenhe. I will consider going for C1 Shenhe when she comes back. But anywho's, the other thing to talk about, I think, in the context of what Zajef was talking about in his stream, is Arlecchino. So, Arlecchino, we'll find out like concretely next week. The interesting thing with Arlecchino is, I think, when I conceptualize the teams that Arlecchino would be useful in, a lot of them are teams that I use Hu Tao in. But for Polearms Only specifically, I think Arlecchino is going to be better than Hu Tao. And therefore, funnily enough, despite Hu Tao is actually someone I should talk about too in Polearms Only. Despite Hu Tao being one of the better and highest invested units that I've relied on a lot to help clear most of the Abyss cycles I've cleared in this account, Hu Tao has been... I think Hu Tao might be basically replaced by Arlecchino. might. There's the big if of like a big part of what makes Hu Tao more functional than you might expect on Polearms Only. Is she on? Oh, she's already here. So she has 1496 attack. You use her skill, and Homa can help with this too when below 50% HP. Especially use her skill, she converts her HP to a big chunk of attack. So now she has 3600 attack, and if she was under 50% HP, she should go up to like 4000. This means she self-buffs herself, and I think Zajef mentioned as much. And normally, though, this is like Hu Tao's only talked about in the context of like vape teams. You can't do vape Hu Tao on Polearms Only. You don't. She applies too much pyro in too short a window. Yeah, 3,998 attack there. She applies too much pyro doing her charge attack spam, and that's where all of her damage is located in. It's like, it's not worth speccing into. There are contexts in which you could use her application as like an enabler for like melt, right? Like one of the contexts I originally thought Shenhe was going to be useful in is like doing Hu Tao. So instead of the melt team I showed you before with Zhongli, use Hu Tao instead of Zhongli here. But the problem is Hu Tao has the same similar issue where Xiao had, wherein Hu Tao wants to spend a bunch of time on field. This character and this character both want to use multiple skills per rotation, so their ER needs go up the freaking like shoot up like a rocket. If I use Hu Tao instead of the other characters, and that makes Shenhe nearly impossible to build, at least without her C1 in my testing. And Rosaria just deals a lot less damage because of it needing an ER timepiece and not getting an extra skill out per rotation that can do potentially 100,000 damage, and it's just not great compared to using Zhongli, where the team freeform allows for me to use Rosaria and Shenhe's skills multiple times per rotation. But despite that, Hu Tao, like in a mono pyro context or with like overload team context with Chevreuse buffing her now, has a number of team options that, with high investment, that's a big asterisk, but that's kind of like the story that's counting in general, is you have less characters available to you, it means you invest more in individual characters. So with like C1 with her weapon, with a ridiculously good build, like if I normally you would use an EM timepiece on this level of investment of a Hu Tao build. If I swap my Hu Tao's timepiece to this timepiece, this is a top 1% Hu Tao on Akasha. It's a properly absolutely disgusting Hu Tao. For me, because I'm not reacting, the EM timepiece doesn't make sense. So I use this ridiculous HP timepiece instead. So this is the build I have been using as long as I am using Chevreuse with Hu Tao, because Chevreuse has small enough ticks of healing that she can, with very, very good uptime, keep the uptime on the 4-piece bonus of Maréchaussée Hunters, and therefore, have a very, very high amount of crit. And also this build lets her use her burst every rotation. But if I'm not using Chevreuse with Hu Tao, I have a very, very good Chimnao's build as well for Hu Tao. And her just own charge, her non-reaction charge attacks are still good enough to make her be a very competent damage dealer in single target context, at least. So she has definitely been a very helpful character, to say the very least. Did you miss the review? Yeah, you can rewind a little bit when I was reacting to the direct things. I'm still kind of talking about some of the things Zajef mentioned, but yeah, he basically was like kind of struggling to figure out good Hu Tao teams, and like Hu Tao doesn't have traditionally good teams on this account, but with high enough investment, she's still one of the strongest characters in the account. And I did not know if she would be going in to when I got her. But she's very good. And Arlecchino, I think, is going to be better. Now, Arlecchino has the downside of doesn't have as much self-buffs as Hu Tao does. Like, Arlecchino is more reliant on external, like, attack buffing, right? She wants a lot of attack. She's an attack scaler, and she doesn't give herself 2,000 attack like Hu Tao does. So, what are your options for that? Well, your options are, like, Toma, Zhongli on Tenacity, Noblesse, right? Someone on Tenacity, Noblesse, that's like 40% attack. And then there's also Chevreuse. Chevreuse gives a bunch of damage bonus. I do have her C6 on Polearms Only. And she gives 40% attack when you have 40k HP, which is not hard to do. I actually have the ability to do a full healing focus build. I actually just got the last piece for this week. So if I put the Song of Days Past artifacts on her that I have, as well as, because I just had to get, I got this feather, which has a bunch of HP on it. So she has 40k HP on that Song of the Days Past build that I have with the new event weapon, and she will be able to she can proc the Song of Days Past artifacts. If you don't know what it does, it buffs your DPS units a little bit. So I'm probably going to test this out with her a little bit. This wall of text basically just says, for a limited number of damage instances, your DPS on fielder does a little bit more damage. But you have, but it's like Clam. You have to like heal enough to get the buff. So the amount you heal determines the buff you get. Chevreuse with my full healing build can get like 90% of that buff in the first 6 seconds the first time you get it, and then so she can proc it twice per rotation, and then the second time she will proc it fully. She will give the full buff, and that means I can have a Chevreuse that heals I think some like 5,000 HP per tick, with a healing bonus circlet on the new event weapon, and buff attack by 40%, and then also do the artifact buff. I don't really think this artifact set is worth it on Chevreuse, by the way, unless you're already using a Noblesse user on the team, which in the context of this account I actually probably will be, so that's why I wanted it as an option. Anywho's, so hopefully Chev C6 buff works on Arlecchino. Why would it not? It just gives damage bonus as long as you have skill going. It actually works less with Raiden than it does with Arlecchino. Arlecchino wants to stay on field longer. The only downside with Chevreuse with Arlecchino, Chevreuse C6 with Arlecchino, is that Arlecchino does let you freely swap out. And if you swap out of her to use another skill on another character, you'll lose the damage bonus that you built up. But yeah, there is the problem with Chevreuse C6 with Arlecchino, since so much of Arlecchino's damage is front loaded, and Chevreuse C6 takes at least like 4 seconds to get max buff, depending on when exactly the healing text happened. In those 4 seconds, you are not. Arlecchino's weird with her front loaded damage, so like it's not like a perfect synergy with her C6 to be clear, but it's a buff. It's a buff regardless when we don't have access to mini buffs. That's all it ultimately comes down to. So Arlecchino, like in this team context, is going to be better than Hu Tao, because it's going to allow more flexibility to being swapped to Raiden to do Raiden bursts. This is normally a team I have not been using that much in Abyss, because it's better just like put Toma in this slot instead of Hu Tao, and then use Hu Tao on the other side of the Abyss. But sometimes it's still useful to have 2 DPS units I can freely swap between, but Arlecchino should just be better here. Arlecchino should function in that Shenhe melt team, whereas Hu Tao did not, because Arlecchino can be freely swapped out, so that issue of Hu Tao not allowing me to use Rosaria and Shenhe skills multiple times per rotation, not an issue with Arlecchino. And then I also think Arlecchino, by nature of applying less pyro than Hu Tao, because so much of Arlecchino's damage is in her non-reaction damage, but she applies less pyro, right? Like a lot of Hu Tao's potential damage output is a lot behind her doing a vape reaction, right? Arlecchino can still deal a more competent amount of damage without doing vapes, but she doesn't apply as much pyro. I'm pretty sure C6 Candace will enable her to consistently vape. I'm not 100% confident of this. I haven't tried to map out the timings of the Hydra application to know for sure. I am not 100% confident, but I'm pretty sure C6 Candace will enable with the Hydra from this, and with the fact that Candace does apply Hydra when you use her burst. She has 3 instances of Hydra application that happen in an AoE. Next week, I plan to stream on next week, Wednesday, after Arlecchino's release. I'll probably have a stream farming for Arlecchino, getting her leveled up. And then I'm going to test Candace in this current Abyss cycle. And you're going to see, in the context of, the Spectres, for example, in Chamber 2, wherein Candace can have AoE Hydra applications centered around her, and Arlecchino can have AoE, a very meaningful AoE pyro damage, and pyro application centered around her. There's no other Hydra that allows that control. So anyways, Overload Arlecchino should work. I think Vape Arlecchino will work on Polearms Only. Melt Arlecchino, not Arlecchino melting. Most likely Rosario is going to be the one melting. Is my guess, but it might be Arlecchino might get occasional melt still. Particularly, I can probably melt the first few hits and get like very significant damage out of her when she first comes on field. But then as she stays on field, she'll probably apply enough power that Rosario will be the one melting, which is fine. So Melt Arlecchino, I'm quite confident will work. Overload Arlecchino should be better than with Hu Tao in Overload. And Vape Arlecchino should work better than, well, will work better than Hu Tao. Well, I shouldn't say will. Is probably going to work. I'm a little bit iffy on that one because it's going to really depend on some of the timings of things. But should probably work. And then there's even the context of, I think, Burgeon Arlecchino, where you'd use Arlecchino instead of like Zhongli here, for example. Raiden still might be necessary for this team, which is going to make it a little bit potentially weird. Well, I don't know. She might actually not be necessary because, I don't know. I'm not confident Burgeon Arlecchino is going to work on this account. I know I'm very confident Burgeon Arlecchino is going to work on my main account, but that's something aside from this. This account, Burgeon has a problem in this account of like the Xiao Candace combo kind of wants Xiao to be on field. Arlecchino is an on fielder. So I'm iffy on Burgeon Arlecchino on this account. But Burgeon Arlecchino should work in general. Point is, I can think of all these contexts where Arlecchino should be relevant to use in. And this basically makes it so I don't think Hu Tao is going to have much relevance for the level of investment this account has. So Arlecchino is a very relevant character for Polearms Only, but at the same time, I don't think I would need her to continue clearing Abyss on this account, right? Like I showed in the beginning of this stream, I have kept a streak up on. I should just click the button. I have kept a streak up on this account since I think the beginning of 4.0. I don't know exactly when I started trying to keep the streak up. But like, yeah. So. Yeah, I didn't, these ones when they're 27 star, like you can see there's two 27 stars. I could have 36 star these, I just didn't streak because it wasn't worth my time at that time. So, you know, I don't know, I've been streaking for a while on the Polearm Only account, and I intend to keep that way. I think Arlecchino is going to give me more team options to be able to easily clear, but I don't think she is the difference. I don't think she is as much going to be the difference between clearing or not in that many Abyss cycles, right? So it will be interesting to see, like, if I clear, like, I think I will be using her a lot, right? But if someone asks me, okay, now try to clear, you know, X Abyss cycle without Arlecchino this time, and I'll be like, okay, and then I will just reconfigure teams a little bit, and I will probably still be able to clear, and they might take a little bit more of, like, better optimal play or whatnot. But it's not the difference maker. So I don't know. So Zajef saying that Arlecchino should make a big difference for this account. He's not wrong. But also, when you're at an investment level that this account is at already, it's not technically going to matter. So I am very much going to appreciate having Arlecchino, but mostly she just is probably a Hu Tao replacement. But Hu Tao will still have some use, I think. We'll see. That's going to be a ask me again in 3 months from now type of situation. It's also going to depend on how many Arlecchino constellations I get. Because of that, how much does X amount of dollars? I was originally going to do... Okay, so, in case anyone didn't see, I had a video at the beginning of this patch when the Chronicle banner came out, right? This is on my main account, where I was like, what does 3 top-ups... I did 299.97, which is the 99.99 times 3... how much does 3 top-ups, $300, get you on the Chronicle banner? That video did so freaking well that it, like, I'm just like, well, I kind of got to test doing that same video gimmick, but now for, you know, Arlecchino's banner. If that video doesn't do well, I will not do that again in the future, because, I don't know, the value of that video is like gambling content is entertaining, go figure. And then, on top of that, I think it's a good opportunity to show how not valuable top-ups are, because the reason I settled on 3 top-ups, $300, is because 3 top-ups, if you're starting from 0, right? So on this account, like I'm not starting from 0. 3 top-ups is enough to guarantee you 1 5-star, basically. One. Oof. So, like, that's not very valuable, right? And it's not to say that I think people should never spend money in Genshin. I think it's worth buying some battle passes. I think it's worth buying Welkins. But what I want to do is, like, encourage people to not do top-ups by me spending top-ups, because I have avenues to spend less money, so it hurts less for me. So I don't know. Point is, it might make... I'm going to test the waters, basically, to see how that video performs, because for me, it's literally just a business decision, where, like, if I reach X amount of view threshold, when you come for how I can make money from my videos, I can make more money by spending money, right? Like, you got to spend money to make money, kind of idiom or whatever. And not 1 rate-up character, but 1 5-star. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, 3 top-ups is not necessarily enough to guarantee 1 weapon, but yeah, one specific 5-star character. It's technically $300 is not enough to guarantee 1 specific 4-star character, because that's how 4 stars be. Thanks, Mahoyo. Anywho's, what was I saying? Point is, it's a business decision for me, and if the video does well, I will probably do it in the future, but it's not, generally speaking, going to be on, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't necessarily want to spend... I don't know. The video concept is buying the top-ups specifically and seeing what I get from the top-ups to show how low value the top-ups are. But it's also gambling content and can be entertaining. And I was originally going to stick to only doing that on my main account, because my main account is already so high investment it just doesn't even matter. It would be like a business excuse to get every single new character they release, right? Like... It'll be an excuse to, even if I don't care that much about Clorinde, for example, I'll probably end up getting Clorinde under that excuse. I was going to get Arlecchino regardless, but the reason I'm not going to do the $300 on my main account is what I'm getting to here, why I'm talking about it, is because on my main account, 1, I already have a guarantee for Arlecchino, which makes it a lot more boring, and 2, because I'm interested in actually using Arlecchino, I don't want her constellations, believe it or not. I don't know. There's a chance I might go for her C1 because I have a guarantee. But realistically, it's a less interesting video when I have a guarantee. And I also don't really want constellations on my main account, because it's just not that... You shut up. It's just not that relevant to me. Like Arlecchino's going to be more than a competent character on my main account. It just doesn't matter. So it feels like a waste, whereas I can actually get value out of Arlecchino constellations on this account. And I also actively do not want her weapon on my main account, because as nice as it looks, it's not that good. And on top of that, the other weapon on the banner is not useful for me on my main account. And I don't want the resources. I don't want to have to spend the resources to level up another freaking 5-star weapon. It annoys me so much that it takes so many resources to level up a 5-star weapon, and I'd have to level it up just for her. And it's a garbage arse weapon for anyone else. So, anywho's, point is, I'm doing the... I was originally... I only decided to do this literally like 2 days ago, because I was like, man, I really like the fact that I've kept Polearms Only low spender. I've only done, and I've not done every patch, I've only done Welkins and Battle Passes. And it wasn't every single patch. I'd say it's maybe like half of patches, like for how long I played the account. So like a year's worth of Welkins, probably slightly more than a year's worth of Welkins. And then I think a year's patches, so like 8 patches worth of Battle Passes. No, I think it's, well, no, we have 1, 2, 3. No, I think that's about correct. So yeah, 8 patches worth of Battle Passes or so, maybe 9. And then the only time I have actually done a top-up on the account was to get C6 Candace. Well, technically it was to get C4 Candace. but then I got C4 Candace, and it was like, well, this was a good decision, honestly. It was genuinely a good decision at the time, because it was at a time in the account there was so many freaking polearm characters releasing like new polearm characters and rerunning polearm characters because the account was only like 6 months old, so there's a lot of characters I had to acquire and a finite amount of resources. I actually think it was a smart decision. I do not regret it at all. It's one of the rare instances where I can be confidently say, no, I think it was actually worth the money I spent for my purposes of making content for the account and having fun on this account too. So don't regret that. And then technically there was another top-up done for Xiao and Hu Tao, but I didn't do that top-up. My brother did a top-up on my account as an early birthday present because I lost the 50-50 when trying to go for Xiao and Hu Tao after like farming. I think you can find a live stream of this. I farmed for like 3-4 hours on stream to get to pity or something, and it took like 3 or 4 hours to farm a 10 pull, and I was freaking miserable. And then I lost the 50-50, and I was just like, ugh. And then my brother gave me a slightly early birthday present and did a top up on the account and enabled me to get Xiao and Hu Tao, which thank you to my brother for that. So technically that's 2 top ups on the account, right? And then just low spender otherwise. Maybe you'd call that as dolphin, but I don't know. Point is, I haven't wanted to be like, yeah, I'm gonna spend money every single time a polearm character comes out to make sure. Like, no, I don't want to spend money in this account. I actually prefer to keep it low spender. It's just that I don't want extra copies of Arlecchino on my main account in this instance. I can actually get value out of them on this account, and that's kind of all it came down to. This was the end conclusion. And depending on how lucky or unlucky I get, it might functionally make like the amount of wishes I have right now on this account for Arlecchino prepared. We have no guarantee. I think I have like, this is about the wishes I'll have next week, right? And I'll have a little bit more from like maintenance or abyss, so like 1,000 more. So I'll have about 210 wishes, right? I think I have, let's see, 20-ish pity? More? This was in trying to get Xiao, you know, the Xiao incident. Freaking Xiao. 2 early Xiaos and both 50-50 ones. One of those is better 50, whatever, it's fine. It's fine, because we're going to get all the early Arlecchino. Well, we don't even need early Arlecchinos, honestly, because I'm spending money. But it was 25 pity, so functionally, that's the equivalent of like 230 wishes, right? Which is enough to guarantee C0 Arlecchino, right? Without a problem. And it's enough to make it likely to be able to even get her weapon or C1 in some conjunction on this account as well without having to spend anything. I got Almost Bull when trying to go for a second copy of Staff of Scarlet Sands a while ago, and that was fine because now we have, well, it's not really fine, it depends what happens, but if you get a standard banner weapon, so if you lose the 25-75 in weapon banner, for those that aren't aware, you get your next 5-star you get from weapon banner, and this does carry over. The point does not, but the guarantee for one of these 2 weapons. So if I was going to wish, I'm not going to. If I was going to wish on this account right now, the next 5-star I got would be guaranteed to be either Tome of the Eternal Flow or Freedom Sworn. So not the specific one I want. So in the instance of Arlecchino's weapon, instead of it being a 25-75 and then a 75% chance divided by 2 to get Arlecchino's weapon in the first 5-star I see, it's instead a 50% chance. And then it goes, and then if I lose the 50-50, it goes back to the 37% chance. And then it would be guaranteed after that because of the fate point system. Garbage, stupid, convoluted weapon banner. Point is, I have a slightly higher chance because of the Almost Bow. I have a slightly higher chance to get Arlecchino's weapon than you would at a baseline. But if I lose that 50-50, then it goes to normal weapon banner bullcrap. So yeah, and the 3 top-ups will functionally give me about twice the amount of wishes that I have right now. So I'll have like 400 wishes, right? Which means we're going to be guaranteed, if we spend everything, we would be guaranteed to get Arlecchino constellations. So we will see. It could go so poorly, right? It could take 160 wishes to get Arlecchino, and then 200 wishes to get her weapon, and that would leave me with basically nothing left over with the extra spent, which would be brutal. But that would be a perfect showcase. It would be a perfect showcase of how low value top-ups are. If I have 200 wishes to start, and I have the 3 extra top-ups, and I only end up with C0 Arlecchino and her weapon at the end of it, holy will that be a perfect anti-advertisement? And it would be, so I'd be fine with getting that unlucky, because it would be the perfect anti-advertisement in being like, yep, this is how low value top-ups are, because this is how the wishing system works. You probably shouldn't top up. But if you want to, use Polearms Bargains. Yeah. Polearms Bargains did not sponsor this stream, but they are sponsoring a top up for the Arlecchino video. So, you know, that's it. That's a long tirade. To say, I didn't really want the top up for Arlecchino on this account, but I'm doing it because it makes business sense for me to make that video anyways, outside of the context of Polearms Only, specifically because of how successful that previous video was. If the Arlecchino wishing video only gets like 30 to 40,000 views, I will probably not do that style of video again. Except when it really makes sense, like when there's a new banner, like there was for the Chronicle banner. But yeah, so we'll see. So I don't really want to spend money in Genshin, believe it or not. Anyways, I've ignored chat for like 30 minutes. Clorinde weapon speculations? Probably a sword. I think they showed her using a sword. I also assume she is going to be a on-fielder, because she's literally like shown in story as like a duelist. Not that like the lore of the character always matches what they do in game for their playable kit or anything, but on a lore level it would make the least sense for her to. So anyways, as far as like Electro on-fielders go, it's like, I don't know. I would have said the same about Arlecchino. Like, I don't think Arlecchino is gonna be that relevant, but I think Arlecchino is actually like going to be this is not for Polearms Only. Like on a generic level for most players, I think Arlecchino is going to be a character people like more than Hu Tao in general. I think she's gonna feel a lot better to play than Hu Tao feels to play, and she's gonna have way more team options that are competent than Hu Tao has. And like enough team options that will be competent just with her being a damage dealer in the team, that people will feel satisfied with getting Arlecchino if you are interested in her. But she's certainly not someone you need to pull. She's an on-field DPS unit. There's lots of options for on-field DPS in the game. It's just the way that she will play in practice. There is a decent bit of skill expression with playing her, like incentivizing playing her properly, but at the same time, the way she actually feels to play will be much easier than doing, you know, this with Hu Tao. Like mobile players will vastly prefer. And there's a large chunk of the Genshin player base is playing on mobile, right? Will vastly prefer Arlecchino, and will probably find that Arlecchino's damage output feels far better than Hu Tao. So in on mobile, because of how much better she feels, and you just do this with Arlecchino, and as long as you know you do your E, do your other characters, do a charge attack to start the rotation, you're gonna be fine with Arlecchino. So anywho's, we'll see what Clorinde ends up being, but as far as Electro on-fielders go, what does the game need for Electro on-fielders? Like, for what makes Electro relevant? I don't know. I can tell you they could make her more interesting by, like, doing something like externally infusing Electro. But man, we have a smattering of... Like, the most relevant thing I could think for Electro right now to do, that we don't currently have in the game, is an external Electro infusion. So, you know, a Candice or a Bennett C6 equivalent for infusing melee characters with Electro. That could be very relevant. And then secondarily, and I don't really think she's going to be doing that, and then secondarily, and this is also something I don't think she's going to do, an Electro healer that is not kooky. It can be an Electro or Dory, sorry. Both of these healers are not really, I mean, Dory with her C6, to be clear, is actually pretty competent, but still requires like on-fielding Dory. So an off-field, team-wide Electro healer for the context of Furina could be quite relevant, because Furina has given relevance to basically every element type having some amount of like team-wide heal. Like Cryo has multiple options for team-wide healers. Animo has multiple options, right? We have Cloud Retainer and Jean. And Sayu is potentially functional too. Then Dendro obviously has options by Zhu and Yao Yao, and then Hydro is always decided is the healing element. So you got you've got you. You're technically a healer. And is it really only them? I guess okay. I guess it's not really the healing element then. I think that was probably in my mind because of the leak today that Sijuin was going to be a Hydro healer. That's probably why I was thinking that. Pyro actually has not many healers either, other than Bennett, but I don't know. Bennett is surprisingly good with Furina if you put him on maidens. But it also is a little bit team dependent in like a team that allows you to freely swap out, like Arlecchino. So yeah, as far as healers go, Electro needs a team-wide healer. I think Geo needs a team-wide healer. Pyro could use more options as well. But I think Electro is the one that'd be most relevant. So you know what my ideal kit for Clorinde is? Electro team-wide healer. This is not what it's going to be. Electro team-wide healer that also applies some amount of Electro off-field, but in absence of that, does some amount of external Electro infusion. That would be an interesting character. External Electro infusion she doesn't even need to apply Electro herself, as long as she gives an external Electro infusion, because then whatever on-fielder you have could be the Electro applier, theoretically. So yeah, external Electro infusion to give Electro infusion to melee units, and then team-wide healer. Bam. Clorinde is a good, relevant character. She's not going to be that. She's probably just going to have some weird, specific gimmick to her kit that, like I don't know, requiring... It could be a Nilu style. Like, who knows, right? Like, I do not think she's going to be that. I think she's going to be some kind of variation of an on-fielder that has flashy, fun animations and some kind of gimmick to her kit that does make her kind of interesting, potentially, to play. But at the end of the day, she will probably not do anything new for Electro, is my guess. But she might be better than certain other characters, like if she's spec'd with an overload gimmick or something, she might be a lot better than Raiden in Chevreuse teams or something. Sethos is Electro team-wide healer, not Clorinde. I forgot about that. Sethos was he Electro? I could have sworn he was Pyro. What did I don't remember what he is. I'm not gonna go check right now. It's fine. So, anywho's. Yep. What else do I have to talk about? I think I talked about most everything. I could do Space Train. I think I put Space Train in the title. I think I'm not going to do Space Train. Reason being, because I've already streamed for like an hour and a half, and I think a short stream is enough. I'm probably going to stream this weekend. Unless, I guess, well, my internet hasn't worked properly. Do you guys want to see me try to clear Abyss in this stream? I think that would be appropriate, I guess. That's what I'm thinking of ending the stream off here. I'm gonna try to clear it. If my internet doesn't behave, though, sometimes my internet likes to just go to crap. Yeah, I mostly just did the stream to do the reaction to Zajef's stuff and talk about stuff with Polearms Only related to that. And at this point, I've talked about most of what I wanted to talk about. I was potentially going to talk about my vacation and like the eclipse photo that I put in the thumbnail. But I will probably talk about that later this weekend. I might start streaming more, as I've said, but I think this week I am probably not going to stream in the midday again until Saturday, is my guess. But anyways, if you guys want, I can go and try to clear Abyss here quick and see if my internet behaves. Message retracted. How dare you? In the trailer, you could see an Electro vision on the hip. on his hip. Okay, why did I think it was a pyro? Then yes, Sethos is much more likely to be the electro healer than Clorinde. It also probably means he's going to be a Clorinde support. Yay. And by Clorinde support, he's probably going to have some weirdly niche specific things. Well, let's remain optimistic, I suppose. Where am I from? Minnesota. It's a state in the United States. In the northern area of United States, northern Midwest. Okay, was Chambers, whatever, it doesn't matter. Well, as long as there's not immune enemies. Okay, should be fine. Cryo slime and hydro slime means I should actually probably... Why is there no button to switch these? Do. Okay, and we'll just do something like that. See if my internet behaves. But yeah, if Sethos is Electro, he is much more likely to be a team-wide Electro healer. He's probably not going to do the infusion. I just think that's what they should put in the kit to make them interesting. And potentially relevant in mostly niche situations, but could still give them relevance outside of just being a healer. Really. By the way, I'm very glad Arlecchino has they changed Arlecchino's charge attack movement thing. Oh, you're gonna die later. They changed her movement thing to be, I think, 5 seconds or something. It still uses stamina, which is fine, I think. But it now runs faster than Yelan and lasts longer, which makes it much more useful. I am glad to have some kind of overworld movement ability on Polearms Only. As oh boy, do I not! I definitely notice not having any movement ability, particularly having gotten used to having one Cloud Retainer now. I properly optimized out, by the way, trying to nail down the math breakdown of why C1 Cloud Retainer felt so much more relevant than it seems like it should be for overworld exploration, and because it gives you this feeling of you can just constantly be doink, jumping all across the overworld with C1 Cloud Retainer. And I was trying to nail down wait, how is it possible when functionally it's just a 9-second cooldown? And the reason is because of some specifics of how her cooldown reset functions and lines up when you are doing various things, jumping around in the overworld. And I figure out basically C1 Cloud Retainer, instead, some people have described C1 Cloud Retainer as in overworld, it's it gives you 3 skill cooldown, or 3 skills, but it's actually more if you use it optimally, which sometimes this happens just passively by nature of you're going from point A to B. That was a waste. You're going from point A to B, and then you have short downtime in between using your skills. What ends up happening is that C1 Cloud Retainer is functionally more instances of having 4 skills in a very short duration window, compared to only having 2, it would make you think it is, or 3, you would make it you would think, and so if you compare how far of a distance can you go with C1 Cloud Retainer using 4 of her skills, compared to any other movement ability in the game, it's not even close. And it's enough distance that C1 Cloud Retainer makes it so if you, because when you're exploring an open world, right, you see something and you want to go from where you are to where that is. You're going from point A to point B. Chances are C1 Cloud Retainer will enable you to get there within 4 skill usages, or within very close to 4 skill usages. It's not always the case, obviously, but that's my general experience thus far with C1 Cloud Retainer. And if wanted, after I'm done here, I guess I can maybe show what I'm talking about. I obviously can't right now on Polearms Only because she do not be a polearm. And, yeah, I don't know. C1 Clavitainer is utterly ridiculous for Overworld. Point being, I'm very glad to have something that is kind of useful in Overworld for Polearms Only. Because I really notice it. I really notice not having anything. It, like, just doing simple arts things and being like, oh, this daily requires me to go from here to Dawn Winery is annoying. I mean, like, Clavitainer can press her skill twice and just get there. Anyways. I put Zhongli in a Geo Goblet, by the way. He probably is not going to stay on the Geo Goblet, particularly because, like, even for this Abyss cycle, it's relevant to have him on a more defensive Goblet. For Capellius, notably.
Pay your dues.
Pay your dues.
Shine down. You asked for it. Stop right there. Final warning.
Why do you have to be pyro resistant? You butthole? Wait, why am I said he's pyro resistant. I start doing Hu Tao things. Are you not?
Illusion shattered. Fire it up. I got you covered. Justice will prevail.
There we go. I forgot that Clavitainer is good for moving. I'm already so bored of using her. Didn't even make it a friendship 10 before switching. Okay. I mean, she's just a default character in my overworld. She's the first character that I have, like, Kazuha for a long time was a character I almost always defaulted going back to for overworld uses. And now it's Clavitainer. She's vastly better for general, just moving from point A to B. Let's see here. Let's just do... Wait, what are they immune to? Pyro, Electro. Okay, we can do Melt on the first side. Are you gonna try Melt Arlecchino with Shenhe Rosaria? Yes, I am. One of the most valuable things I think Arlecchino can do for this account is the fact that she should be able to be used in place of Xiangling on this team. And that notably frees up Xiangling for another team. That can give me a lot more potential options to deal with the other side of Abyss. Because it's by far the biggest downside of this team is that sometimes I might want Xiangling somewhere else. And, for example, for a Chevreuse team. So now I can definitely conceive of being able to use this team in conjunction with doing a Chevreuse team with Xiangling. A Chevreuse team with Xiangling on this account performs meaningfully better than the Chevreuse team without Xiangling. Go figure.
Don't get too close. Here's back. Hands right, Xiao. Final warning.
This character is so satisfying in defense. Did default overworld is C1 Yelan and Kazuha. Yep, it was for me for a while. But now it's just Clavitainer. I'm pretty much done, I think, with at this point. Well, I don't know, I shouldn't say done. Genshin's in a little bit of a weird state right now wherein, like, I have seen a large number of people that like Clavitainer again. And it's just like Clavitainer is useful so often when you're doing things like I do, because Mihoyo, like for Kave, for example, I didn't want to default to using Clavitainer, but Clavitainer is the only obvious way to be like, okay, if we're using Kave to do bloom damage, the main problem to figure out is how to make him deal competent damage while, like, waiting for his skill cooldown to come back. So I can do something that's not just like a pittance of Dendro application and normal attack damage. And the way to do that is to utilize the fact that he is an infusion in his Claymore and use Clavitainer, right? But like it's a side effect of like Mihoyo not offering, like, for example, competent ways to have other buffers, like for like normal attack damage, for example, or charge attack damage. Like, there's no charge attack buffer in the game. They released a character that buffed plunge damage a ton and also enabled you to plunge before they released a charge attack buffer. What the f? So anyways, so when they have character kits like Kaveh, where they give him an infusion, but then don't actually give his kit anything that makes him deal particularly meaningful damage with his infusion damage, like with his normal attack damage at a baseline, it puts the onus on you to try to make him deal competent damage through other methods, and that's using Cloud Retainer. So like, I don't want to default using Cloud Retainer, but it's just kind of a problem of not having, like, they made such good options in having like Cloud Retainer available that there's not anything else that even compares to it, which is awkward. So, do I ever trigger Fab? Do I have Fab on? I do. I just don't get to trigger it. Okay. But anyways, I honestly think a bigger problem, and this is something I'm gonna try to like, I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to avoid it though. The bigger problem I've noticed for myself, and this is something that weirdly I have not seen people complain about, whereas I do see people complain about Cloud Retainer. Furina, my god, that, like, the problem with Furina is not just how good of like a buffer Furina is. It's how good she is at enabling very easy builds to be competent, with the fact that she enables on-fielders to use Maréchaussée Hunters. Like, the fact that Maréchaussée Hunters is so good, and that Furina enables it, really makes me feel pushed on my main account to using Furina. More than anything, because of the conjunction of her buffing and Maréchaussée Hunters. Because rather than being like, okay, what do I do for, like let's say Eula as an example, right? Like, Eula as an example, like, okay, do I spend the next... The game's a bit too loud. Okay, let me lower the volume a little bit. Do I spend the next 2 months trying to farm that last pale flame piece I need for Eula, and make it for a Eula team without Furina that is probably going to be worse than a Eula team with Furina, regardless of doing plunges or not, to be clear? The answer is like, no, just use Furina for Eula, right? Like, Furina's a good buffer for Eula. And enables Maréchaussée Hunters for a really competent Eula build that gives more freedom to like meeting Eula's ER needs even, and like it just feels a bit rough that right now it feels like almost the best way to play any character that is not, you know, up to the par of like the better characters, which does include characters like Eula. Eula is not dysfunctional, she is more than functional, but it's just like not worth doing anything, it kind of feels like, other than Maréchaussée Hunters. So I don't know. I don't think Furina was a mistake, but I'm kind of almost feeling lately that Maréchaussée Hunters was a mistake, a design mistake. I don't know. What was you people's thoughts? Die, please. Die, please. Thank you. I think Furina doesn't get complaints because she doesn't change the way characters play like Cloud Retainer does. Yeah, but like that's what, man, it's just a perceptual problem with Cloud Retainer. Yeah, I have noticed that like people think Cloud Retainer does more than she does. Because of the fact that she changes the way you play by doing plunges instead of like doing normal attacks. But what the is the actual difference there, other than I'm doing the space bar instead of doing a mouse click? My god. Like, I don't know. I think part of the hate for Cloud Retainer comes from mobile players, realistically. Cloud Retainer it's much harder to feel like plunges. Where I'm coming from this is because I quite often like just do my dailies on my phone nowadays. And do like artifact farming or whatever on my phone, and it is a lot more annoying on mobile to get use out of Cloud Retainer, because it's very easy to have a missed input. Like, the amount of times my thumb has apparently not actually been on the stupid freaking virtual joystick, and therefore my character wasn't actually moving, and therefore, you know, I couldn't... I end up, like, jumping this direction when the enemy's over here to do my plunge, and then I just miss completely by, like, a mile. And that's just a mobile problem, to be clear. But a large chunk of the player base is mobile players, and I think that's where some of them are coming from, because they, like, tried Cloud Retainer in the trial, and they noticed that problem immediately because they're playing on mobile, and blam. So, anywho's, that's where I think it's coming from. I do think Furina was a mistake. Every DPS wants on her team. Every DPS does not want Furina team. But she's a very easy way to make non-optimal DPSs want her. Like, a lot of non-optimal characters want her. I'm loving that set with Furina. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I don't know how to feel about it. Like, because it's simultaneously extraordinarily nice to just have this as a default option to go to, but I find that I'm relying on it too much. And that makes me think the balance hasn't been quite landed on. Like, I'm very glad it's an option, but at the same time, it makes me also feel that no other options are relevant. It is kind of the feeling. When in the specific context of what I do, where I like to, you know, use non-optimal the characters that are a lot worse and try to make them as good as possible. I don't even have Kave in this account. I was going to click on Kave as an example, right? Like, I really like having it, but it also feels like a crutch, almost. Specifically the Maréchaussée Hunter's Furina combo. It's not one or the other specifically. It's kind of the both. Anywho's floor 11. We're gonna do overload on the first one because it'll be more fun. Because I'll be able to... I could change Hu Tao to her EM timepiece, by the way, against these things. Actually, I should do that. Let's do that. Hopefully I will not forget to change this back. I'm gonna change Hu Tao to the EM timepiece. Just because I think we'll be able to see in the neighborhood of like 90 to 100k vaped charge attacks. Alright. Yeah. Thank God someone talks about characters being difficult to use on phone. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason, like I was saying earlier, where I think like Arlecchino is going to be very useful for a lot of mobile players. They're going to feel very valuable to a lot of players because a lot of players are mobile players, specifically. Wait. Oh, almost did the wrong ones. Arlecchino is going to be very, like, as long as you do the E into your other characters into charge attack with Arlecchino, she's going to feel very nice to play. And she has enough nuance in a little bit of skill expression and different things you can do with her, and a lot of team variation that I think Arlecchino is going to be one of the most versatile units they've released. Is this your free-to-play account? No, the free-to-play account was the Weapons Only account. Weapons Only was not miserable because it was free-to-play. Weapons Only was miserable because it was freaking only wishing for weapons. I skipped Furina and Cloud Retainer, so this is a very novel issue to hear about, and no idea people felt so mixed about them. I don't necessarily feel mixed. Like, it's super, like, the amount of things Furina has enabled to be, Furina and Cloud Retainer to an extent, has enabled to be competent. Like, we've never been more, like, with Furina and Cloud Retainer, more Furina than Cloud Retainer, to be clear. For, Furina in particular has enabled so many characters that were like a lot harder to make feel good now have competent options to use. Like if you just really like Charlotte, for example, there is now very much a lot more options to make Charlotte deal competent damage, right? And we're very spoiled for choice to be able to do that now. but the choices are also still simultaneously limited to for some characters. Like Charlotte, realistically, the only really competent way to play her to DPS Charlotte is doing Plunge Charlotte, and I refuse to do Plunge Charlotte. So I shouldn't say only with Plunge Charlotte. I don't have Shenhe on my main account, so I haven't been able to test. I'm gonna get Shenhe on my main account, so I'm gonna get Shenhe primarily for doing janky Shenhe things with DPSing Shenhe, but also specifically because I wanted Charlotte to be better. But I want to do normal attack Charlotte because of her normal attack animations. So, anywho's, you changed your name. Oh, I see. Hello, Vicky. So, anywho's, will Arlecchino be disabled without her proper teams? No, because Arlecchino is going to be quite competent in a very high number of teams. I talked about Arlecchino teams earlier in the stream, if you wanted to rewind a bit. Arlecchino, I am quite confident, is going to be quite good on this account. I'm still getting 36k charge attacks when I put an E on the IPs on.
Illusion shattered.
I got you covered.
Alright.
Stop right there. Drop your weapon.
We need to do this. Can I hit them with pyro? There we go. Okay. What the heck is this chamber?
Shine down.
Really?
Hands where I can see 'em. Stop right there.
This is an interesting chamber. I like this floor 11, honestly, in this current Abyss cycle. It's not hard for an invested account, obviously, but it does actually pose some interesting things for lower investment that I think are overcomable with different play and slightly different team configuration, that I think might incentivize lower investment players to think about how to use their characters and teams a little bit differently to deal with the situation. Which is, I think, the correct way to think about playing Genshin in the healthier way. So, anywho's, is that Toma on HP or EM? Toma's on a shield focused build on. I think he's on a shield focused build on Noblesse. He might have a crit rate circlet though for trying to trigger Fab more often. I'm not 100% sure. So, anywho's, let's finish it up here.
Do your master's bidding.
First floor 11, and I'll have a monolith in a long time. Yeah.
Shiver.
So yeah, this floor 11
Unleash.
does not feel overly punishing, I don't think, to me for lower investment, but also still poses some interesting challenges. So it's not just brainless,
Manifest.
such as with that first chamber, and such as with the last chamber with the hydro thingies.
Unleash. Judgment.
You die. Really? Thank you. I am not going to do another rotation of this.
Obey.
Maybe I should. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I definitely should. Whatever, just use this. You didn't die. God. There we go. Okay. See, I don't know. Furina's just a weird case. In conjunction with Maréchaussée Hunters. That's the thing I feel like is restricting me a little bit more, because I feel like I'm relying on it a bit too much. But also, it's just like it's so easy to just go towards, and the amount of like downsides Furina brings to the table is much lower than the upsides. So I don't know. I think they did a really, really good job designing Furina, to be clear. It's just weird. One thing I think that is kind of interesting about Arlecchino is that she very intentionally seems to have some of the least Furina synergy that they put in any character. She is still going to be functional with Furina, but it's not going to be... I don't think Furina is part of many of Arlecchino's best teams, is kind of what I would say. But yeah, what I'm talking about with Furina is more kind of specific to the issue of using Furina for less optimal characters that aren't made to be very good in the first place. How are you not dead?
Shine down.
Check this out.
Hands where I can see 'em. Stop right there. Final warning.
sure I have Chevreuse energy. I want to see some big vapes on
There is no
Chevreuse
escape.
on the next chamber.
Don't get too close.
Final warning.
Alright, there we go. Okay,
Illusion shattered.
kill him. I really dislike the last floor level with the sequential mirror maidens. Yeah. Everyone becoming a plunge DPS can be boring. I like that Shenhe enables so many units to finally do good or really good damage. Yeah, I agree. I think Cloud Retainer brings up the need more for them to make competent, like, Cloud Retainer highlights the issues with Yunjin, for example. Like, I think Yunjin could have been so much more interesting and so much more relevant, but they're just like, no, we're going to give this character annoying build requirements and issues with being like a solo Geo unit that her buffing is basically and like having a limit to how she buffs and blah 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 blah. And like they did enough specific things with Yunjin to make her like really only be relevant in some rare contexts. And then they did Cloud Retainer, the plunge buffer, compared to like Yunjin, the normal attack buffer, and it's just like kind of sad. Like Yunjin, it, for example, in my opinion, should have been a very competent alternative, ignoring the healing aspect for Furina. Yunjin should have been a very competent option to use with Kaveh instead of using Cloud Retainer, I think. I think I ended up cutting it out of the video because I showed it, but then I was like, honestly, it's so bad, it's not even worth mentioning, because Yunjin's just a pain in the ass. Like, that's what I think Cloud Retainer highlights to me, at least, is the need for other competent
By ordinance divine.
niche buffers. And the fact that they haven't made a... Oops, I don't know why I switched view. The fact that they... Stop moving. There we go. The fact that they haven't made a competent... sorry, not a competent, any charge attack buffer yet is kind of insane to me. With the number of, like, characters they've made do meaningful charge attack damage. My only guess is that they're, like, scared of it, right? Like, they don't want to make a charge attack buffer that just doubles Hu Tao's damage or something. But they're good enough at designing things. I don't think it'd be that hard for them, right? So I don't get it. You think they make bad characters on purpose? Yes. I think they're pretty good at designing characters. So when a character's not very good, I think it's very on purpose. And I think the reason for it is because they generally speaking, they don't want you to think about the game very logically and rationally and on a mechanical level. They want you to just be like, oh my god, look at them animations. I need that character. Or, you know, my god, I love how sexy Arlecchino looks. I need her. That's what they want you to decide to use your resources for. Because that kind of thinking potentially causes you to go down the path of being more likely to spend money. So ultimately, I think they design characters, generally speaking, to operate within a specific niche. So like Mihoyo, when they design characters, they set out, they're like, okay, we want this character to be used exactly within this context, and that's what they want them to be used for. And then they very occasionally release characters that are more supportive units that are still supposed to be used in specific contexts, like say Cloud Retainer, but have a diverse set of teams that still make it so that they're very relevant and whatever, and versatile and useful characters like Cloud Retainer, wherein like the context in which Cloud Retainer is useful is plunging. Wild, right? Outside of the context of plunging, they did not want Cloud Retainer to be very relevant. They removed her grouping in beta. They did not want Cloud Retainer to be a very relevant choice, basically, outside of the context of doing her plunging things. So when they're designing a character, they have a goal. Like, they want this character to be used by the players in X contexts. And that's how they design their characters that they're releasing. Arlecchino is an interesting case where I think they have very purposely designed her as an on-fielder to not have a specific team where she's like insanely best in. Like, it's not like, yeah, the best damage team you could use Arlecchino in is doing, you know, Kazuha, what is it, the Kazuha, Yelan, Bennett, Arlecchino variation. Sure, but how many people if they know that that's her best team, how many people also know how much worse it is to do any number of other Arlecchino variations, right? And the fact of the matter is, all those other Arlecchino team variations are like so good that I don't think most players, right, will feel restricted by Arlecchino, I guess. So Arlecchino's I think a bit of an exception to the rule, where I do not, other than just like Arlecchino being a normal attack pyro DPS, I don't see the context in which Mihoyo was like, no, we only want players to be using Arlecchino for this team. She doesn't seem like that to me. She seems to have just benefits and downsides to how she functions with like her no healing gimmick, like only healing her burst and whatever. So niche buffers are almost always my favorite additions to the game. Yep, I agree. So anyways, yes, I think it's on purpose when characters are bad. Alright, let's do... Okay, let's see what we get from that. Nice 94k. Alright, and... that's 70k. I expected like... oh, there we go. Alright, there's an 80k. Oh, we're not under 50% HP yet. That's why. Okay, we need to... no. Take some damage. You need to take more damage. Don't die, though. Okay, that should be good. Alright, do that. There we go. There's what I would want. Yeah, look at that 100k charge attack. 110k. Let's freaking go. See? That, like... there's the... so I put an EM type based on Hu Tao there, right? Oh, that's disgusting. 110k from a charge attack on Hu Tao is utterly disgusting. So that's near what that Hu Tao build would perform like on a main account with like Furina, Yelan, whatever the Furina Yelan variation is. I think it's usually Furina Yelan, whatever the frick. It was a disgusting Hu Tao build. But on this account, don't normally use an EM type piece on her because not normally actually vaping consistently, but those were Hydro enemies, so I was vaping. That's why I put it on there. Disgusting.
Manifest! Cryo incarnate! Nice and spicy! Yeah! Light
Need my energy. In this team, it does actually make sense. This is why I kind of put him on a Geo Goblet. It does actually make sense to use Zhongli's burst because there is a couple seconds of downtime in between where I do, you know, I have Xiangling's going, I have Xiangling burst going, I do Rosaria's skill burst. In between waiting for Rosaria's and notably Shenhe's skill cooldown to come back, there's usually like a couple seconds downtime in which it can actually make sense to use Zhongli's burst. It also helps keep enemies in the same spot, so it mitigates the circle impact issues. Anywho's, what did I used Sino, I think I used Sino. Sino has been genuinely quite good this Abyss. So this Abyss cycle is not so easy that I feel like I can just clear it first try, to be clear. It is a harder Abyss cycle. So the question is, do I want to change my builds around a little bit? I at least got to put Hu Tao back. Let's see here. So you... Blam. Okay. And let's see. I think Zhongli Petrify is underrated in some teams. Yeah, I mean, the problem is like it doesn't do enough damage to, generally speaking, be worthwhile for the time it takes to deal it. But if you can take advantage of the Petrify and the team is freeform enough like that team is to allow you the time to use it, it is worth it. It's just the context that it is worth it to use Zhongli's burst are actually relatively rare. Why are you not 3k attack? I could have sworn you had 3k attack. I must have put her on a higher ER piece or something recently. That's fine. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Let's... what are we gonna do? I would really like another copy of Staff of Scar. Man, I kind of wish I went in, like, because I stopped once I got that almost bow to save the 50-50 thing for Arlecchino's weapon. But I kind of wish I just got the second copy of Staff of Scarlet Sands. So often I'm finding, now that I have Raiden constellations, I want Raiden basically always on her hybrid build. And I really also like having Hu Tao on Staff of Scarlet Sands. So it's a question of like, okay, if I take it from Raiden, what do I put Raiden's build on? And I gotta tweak it. I think I might just stick with this on her. I don't even know we're actually using that team, now that I think about it. So let's just figure out. I don't remember what teams I use. I might need to go look at my footage. I think I know I use Sino on the second side, but but I think it was for this. Oh frick! But I think it was for the second chamber specifically. Second and third chamber. Sino was not the best for the third chamber. It's just I was using Sino for the third chamber because he was functional enough. Sure. That's what I need. Is Engulfing Lightning better on Raiden majority of the time? Long story short, no. Well, okay, yes. But no, because Xiangling can use it better, because this is Polearms Only, and if I'm doing, you know, solo Pyro Xiangling in a melt team, it turns out Engulfing's ER is pretty nice. And especially not only the ER, but the ER to attack conversion is also very nice, because remember, this is a Xiangling without Bennett. Normally, Xiangling ends up like getting built with whack ton of ER in a lot of teams regardless, right? But building a whack ton of ER means having less attack. But we don't. But that's fine, because on most accounts you use Bennett to give Xiangling a bunch of attack. I don't have Bennett on this account, so I joke about it, but it's genuinely a Xiangling signature weapon. It doesn't leave her. And the only context in which it would therefore make sense to use Engulfing on Raiden, in my mind, is specifically when I am not using Zhongli, which is not very often. And also, the hybrid build I have on Raiden, I maintain, is the best way to have Raiden's performance be like evened out for her damage performance, particularly in the context of using her for these overload team variations a lot. Even for these contexts of using her in overload team variations, because it means even if I'm not spending a bunch of field time on her, she's still dealing meaningful damage on her hybrid build, both from critting with her skill and triggering overloads with her skill, because she has 500 EM. And also, if I put Engulfing on her, it's not like I have a bad build on Raiden with the traditional emblem build, but it's a much more cope crit ratio. Like I notice it. Like I go down to like a 60% crit, like 60, some similar amount of crit damage, but like 60% crit rate, with like 150-ish crit damage, right? Because I'm not using a crit weapon anymore. And boy, do I notice critting less. I crit a lot less on Raiden without this weapon, and it's so annoying. Yeah. What was I talking about before? Oh, teams. What are we gonna do for teams? Okay, let's see if we can do this one with. I don't think, did I? I don't know. I don't remember what I did the second time around. I posted it in video, and like I did some of this Abyss originally on an initial live stream, but then my internet shut out and it just was frustrating. And then I ended up posting an unlisted clear that was linked before in those live streams, clearing the second and third chamber. And I know I used a different team for the second and third chamber than I did the first chamber. Let's see if we can do it with one team all the way through this time. What is the blessing? Is the blessing better? Yes, it is, actually. It's a lot better. Okay. No, it's not a lot better. It says trigger a swirl reaction. Never mind. This is a cause of a blessing. I mean, I guess I can use Xiao. Is that relevant enough to use Xiao? It only stacks once. No, 3 stacks. 60% normal charge and plunging bonus. That might be enough to make Xiao feel not garbage. Do I do Xiao? I don't know. The problem is Xiao against this is not going to be very good. And I really don't want to configure the rest of the builds around Xiao. So, okay. Second team, first of all. I think I was doing Sino Overload. Something like that. And then I think I was doing some variation of this for the first chamber. I think. I believe this is what I was doing. Because I don't want a shielder for here. A shielder is fine for the first chamber and the third chamber, and this is, I think, part of the reason I was redoing the chambers, because like Zhongli is nice, but I don't want it for the second chamber. Yeah, let's try it. We'll try it like that. Let me go reconfigure Chevreuse's build, because Chevreuse does not really want to be on a DPS-oriented build in this context, because Sino wants to spend a lot of field time. Kanda should be fine. Xiao should be fine. Raiden should be fine. Rosaria needs an ER timepiece. Okay, so yeah, Rosaria needs an ER timepiece, and then Chevreuse needs to be swapped, and Sino should be fine. So give me a second here, and then we'll use our loadout character named Bennett. It's the only use Bennett has in this account. He holds a loadout. Blam. And there we go. So there's my 40k HP healing focus build. I don't actually need the healing specifically in this context, but so it actually okay. So technically, it makes more sense to use Fab now that I think about it. Whatever. Well, we're gonna test it on this build. Why not? And I potentially should put. Actually, there's an interesting option to put Hu Tao in the Sino team as a secondary option in case like Hu Tao or Sino doesn't have his burst back or whatever, instead of Toma, because we're putting a defensive focused build on her anyways. But I think I'm gonna put Toma. I'll use Toma first, and then you need a ER timepiece. Okay. This Abyss isn't hard exactly, but I hate how Hoyervis is constantly putting the dancers in Abyss. Yeah, I'm really sick of them too. Okay, let's do this. Wait, what am I doing? Sino. There we go. Having a stroke. Don't worry about it. Let's go. ER is good. Actually, will help Sino a bit. Even though I have 140 ER, it's not enough, I think. You need to die, please. Thank you.
Now you shall perish.
I could have done that better. If I do that properly, I can definitely kill them in one rotation, but... Can I use my characters? Oh my god. Please, let me use my Dendro! Oh my god, that was so bad. Okay, well that was terrible. Ow. Stop! I don't know which one's lower health or not, but it's fine. This was not great. It might be fine still. Can you stop moving? There we go. That was terrible. I can clear that much faster with that team. Okay, do something like this. Do this. I should have done Chevreuse first. That was a mistake. Fairly significant one, to be clear. God damn it. There we go. Okay, okay, he did get his axe back. There we go. I don't know we're gonna... The problem is he's... Cyto problems means even though I cleared that without a problem, we're not gonna have our burst back in the next chamber. So we'll see. And that's kind of like why I was mentioning putting Hu Tao instead of Toma, because it could have potentially fixed that kind of issue. But hey, first try, and that was with a non-optimal clear in the first part. And we'll just burst damage. What I have found this. I need to focus down these dudes and kill that. Yeah, okay, I think I already bungled this a little bit, but the goal is to kill the Electro ones before I ride in. And then I can easily play this in one rotation. Oh, I think I did. Okay, good. Good. The other ones are on me. Right, the other one's over there still. What a butthole. Not great. Not great. Can you stop? Oh my god. I really don't want to have the Xiao skill here. Okay. Let's retry. No first try. Sad. Oh well. I didn't want to have to waste this skill though. Is the Electro one dead? I don't know if it's not. It's definitely not. Okay, well. No, stop. Okay. And then, yep. Love the time waste DBS. That didn't hit anything? What? Okay. Thanks, game. I appreciate it. I didn't... Oh my god. Brain. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, they've been introducing a lot of random enemies that try to hurt Dendro a bit. Or not just enemies, but Abyss context. Can you not fly away? Thank you, stamina. No, I bungled that. Shouldn't have done that. Whatever, it's fine. Any other ones come near me? No? Okay, well, I'll come to you. There we go. Much better. Stamina issues.
Illusion shattered. Don't be scared. Go. Shine down.
little bit too far away from him. Oh my god, the stamina, man.
Do your work. We shall put lights out. You can't run. Illusion shattered.
No, let me use my skill. I should just ride and burst here, probably. Why? Oh, because I tapped my plot hole. Okay, I really should have ride and bursted there.
There is no escape.
Oh, okay. That was... I could have cleared that like 15 seconds faster. I was just getting greedy for keeping bursts up in the last chamber, but there's not much good reason to actually do that. Oh, look at you and your energy. I love Sino. What a character.
You asked for it.
Supporting fire.
What a character.
Judgment is upon us. Your penance is due.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to redo the Abyss cycle just because of... Or redo the first chamber, I should say. Just because of
Check this out.
Final warning.
Sino energy baloney. We'll try it once more. We'll try it once more with a not terrible clear on the first side. I should have done that over here.
Judgment. Punishment. Go away.
That one's dead. That one should die.
To oblivion.
You didn't have aggravate on you. That's fine. Why, Rosaria? You target the ones I was facing towards. This is jank game sometimes. Also, I just wasted all of the whatever. It's fine. Okay, you pop up your shield.
Lights out. Judgment.
I have Raiden Z going. Whoops. Why? Freaking, I hate the Dendro waves, man. I'm trying to hit all of them here.
Shines eternal.
Of course you did that. Not great.
So
Stop! Interruption against these guys.
Horn to oblivion.
Okay, that wasn't great, but it was better, technically.
Don't get too close.
Can you proc fab? Oh my god, bro. I really need to proc fab on that. Whatever.
Hands back and seal.
Here's backup. Through me, justice is served. Your penance is due.
Oh, I missed that. Crap. Go on your next phase. Okay, good, got energy off of it. Oh, Xiangling's energy. Whoop. Oh, I should have really tried to catch those particles.
Justice will prevail. Final one.
You died! I would have cleared it. I would have cleared it. Definitely would have cleared it. He fucking died.
Stop it.
Yay for Tolma being constellation reliant. Okay. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember actually. I think Toma has an ER timepiece because yay. Okay. Now I'm stubborn because now I'm confident I can clear it without having to reset. Even though it probably would be more time efficient to just fucking reset. Oh boy. Oh, why did I switch to you? Where's the other Electro one? I can't tell. Everything's frozen.
There is no escape. Inazuma
Hopefully it's
shines
dead.
eternal.
Hello? Oh, okay. Hello.
Punishment. Judgment. Go away. Stay put. Do your work. Blade. Grant us your blessing. Lights out. You can't run. Don't be scared. Shine down.
No, let me burst.
Now you
I
shall
don't know why I decided I needed a skill before that. That was dumb. No. Okay.
under.
What killed me? Actually, what killed me? I dodged over there because I was like, okay, I need to move over here and ride in early. Oh well, because I took so much damage on her, and then she just died standing still. Okay. Maybe there's no, I didn't see anything on the ground. Whatever. It might have just been like that killed me for a damaged instance. I don't know. Freaking stupid.
There is no escape. Punishment.
That one just F off over there. Yeah, whatever.
Yield. Shine down. Torn to oblivion.
Stupid pyro one. Just F'd off over here. Didn't get hit by anything. Really? This stupid one Pyro Spectre? No. Any thoughts on this Abyss design-wise? I don't know. It's actually... It's not bad. I like this one. I think this one's a decent balance of challenge. Forgot to do that before. Decent balance of challenge and rewarding, you know, some amount of skill expression, like doing things like trying to make sure. Oh, you! Wow! I don't know. I love this game sometimes. It's trying. It can reward incentivizing a bit into different damage types, more than I'd say other Abyss cycles tend to do. By nature of like the immunities of the immunities of the specters having to be dealt with.
Shine down. Do your work. You can't run.
I should have done that a bit differently. That's fine.
There is no escape. Torn to oblivion. You. We shall prevent punishment. You Blade, you're up. Hey, go away.
There we go. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Okay. Toma trigger fab. Thank you. Okay. I should have done that second. Why? Okay, whatever. It doesn't actually matter.
Supporting fire. Don't get too close. Futa. Your sins weigh upon your soul. Stay condemned. Your penance is due. Guilty. Fire it up.
Okay. Oh, it's the long animation one. Also, Sino's energy. Screw you.
Nowhere to run. Check this out. I got you covered.
Hands where I can see 'em. Nice and spicy.
Xiao. Through me, justice is served. Your penance is due. We stay condemned. Your penance is due. Supporting fire.
Justice will
No, frickin' Sino. See, it's frickin' Sino's energy, man. Is just okay. No, I'm leaving. I'm just gonna redo. This is taking too long, and the only reason I'm having to feel like I need to optimize this is because Sino doesn't have frickin' burst back at the start of the chamber. Why did they design this character this way? Good lord. Good lord. Just annoying. We can do... Should I throw Hu Tao in? I don't know. Hu Tao might be better for that too. Sure, we'll try throwing Hu Tao in, I guess. Instead of Toma. We'll see what happens with it. Okay. Only thing is, what do I do rotation-wise? Maybe it should be fine because I can do the Sino into like... Yeah, it should be fine. Okay. So close, yes. Should have been... It would have been fine. Like I said, if Sino... Like, that's with 20% ER too, man. And he has 140 ER build. Like, you should probably be... By the way, I've noticed like Thundering Fury doesn't quite work properly with Overload Sino. I should probably get a Gilded Dreams build for him, but I don't think I have enough artifacts for it. So, like, there's just a number of problems that could be resolved, actually, by investing in him a little bit more. All around annoying. This first, because they have the Dendra shields.
There is no escape. Grant us your blessing. You can't run. Never. Stay put. Don't let you away.
And I kill the Dendra resistant enemies with Hyper Bloom, probably.
We need it last, Meddler. Please hold for just a moment. Give you Xiao in consideration. You can't run. Punish me. Go away.
Why are you all the way over there? I don't actually have to be optimal like this in this context. I should just make sure I have burst back.
You.
I already 3-starred.
Suma shines eternal.
Goal is to make sure I have energy.
Did I skip him? Let my magic begin.
I might regret swapping out Toma, because not having a shielder for Sino might make him feel a bit more rough.
Illusion shattered. Having promised it was. Yes, punishment.
Really?
Excellent. There is no escape. Born to oblivion.
Just kill him. One of you at least. Don't kill both of them. I need to. Alright, there we go. Really?
You can't run. It's nearing its end.
Stop! These enemies move around so friggin' much. I have not looked into ways to try to get them to group in particular, because I haven't needed to.
Illusion shattered.
I imagine there probably is a way, but there we go. Yeah, Sino's still a fun character. I just don't get why they decided to give him so many problems. It's very weird. I think they just kind of act up on this design.
Nowhere to run.
Hands where I can see. Final toast.
I don't know why I switched to you. I definitely meant to switch to Sino.
Judgment is upon
Or so it happened, I say.
you. You stand condemned.
Yep.
Kill me.
I did indeed swap out Zio. Or swap out Tony.
Kill me.
Okay, we use... Yep, you're raging, that's fine. Alright, gotta get energy back on him. Okay, we should be fine. We should be fine. Let's do this, trigger overload, detach, and then Hu Tao. Could have 36 started with this team too. Or this configuration. I just wanted to make sure we had burst up more than anything. Okay. And now we have energy. This should hopefully go slightly better. Maybe. Alright. Electro one, they're close to dead already. There we go, they're dead. Okay.
Illusion shattered. Now you shall perish.
Why always the pyro one?
There is no stay put. Crank up your blood.
Why are you here?
You can't run.
I probably should have done that. It's fine.
Azuma shines eternal.
You did not have Dendro on you. Okay. Stop! I just want to kill you. Okay.
Illusion shattered. We shall.
What? Oh man. Why are you... Okay, why is Lancer over there?
Now you shall perish.
Ow. I need... Oh, I'm very close to dead. Okay.
You can't run.
Get over here.
Don't be scared. Go away.
I am purposely, in case it's not obvious, running between different enemies. Okay, we're just gonna do this.
Azuma shines eternal.
Okay, that might not be enough time, but we'll see. Obviously, I can clear that better if need be.
Get them. Justice will prevail.
Of course. Oh, I should have bursted anyways to catch those particles. I might have just bungled. Why did I do that? Brain.
Your sins weigh
I did that. Actually, no. Maybe that was a good idea. Unironically, because oh, I'm not gonna be able to get this. Oh, I did get it. Nice. Okay. Maybe that was a good idea, unironically, because. Oh no, never mind. Hu Tao is still full health. I lied. Can you go to the next phase, please? Please. You're wasting my time. God, what's the slow animation one again? What? Oh my god.
nowhere to run.
Do this. Should have maybe done Sino first and then swapped to Hu Tao. No, need more time. Need more time. Or slightly better play. Anyways, the idea I was trying to say there with Hu Tao was like, hey, a skill with her was not on. It wasn't an accident, but maybe a skill with her and then swap out of her so that the next time I use her, she'd be at under 50% health. Problem is, Chevreuse is on a healing build, so she's actually healing Hu Tao too much in that context right now. But, anywho's. Let's just do this slightly better. What in the world? Okay. We're fine. You're right there. The other Electro one is almost dead. Okay. I think that's fine. It's fine.
Illusion shattered.
Why are you... Why? Why are they... I tried to run behind that one and it somehow like skirted around me. Why? What? I didn't know I'd get interrupted when they popped up there. Something new, I guess. I should have bursted, not save the skill there. Whatever.
Shine down, torn to oblivion.
Not gonna do your shield? Okay.
Illusion shattered.
Really? Okay. Just accidentally wasting all the time in the world. Why did I switch to you? There we go, okay. Maybe I should Raiden first there, because I'm gonna take a bunch of damage while I use Raiden, and then therefore save Yao's burst to after. It's probably better.
There is no escape.
Why they're all annoyingly spread out. Why did you do that at the worst time? Come on, I got around you.
Shine down. We shall light. Illusion shattered. Torn
This is
to
not enough
oblivion.
time. Need to get like at least 5 seconds more. If not, 10 seconds.
Stay put. You can't run. Shiver. Don't get you again.
I hate the pirate ones effing off the side. Why are you over here? These specters, man. Like the movement of the specters is so janky. I swear there's no consistency in it. Even though I try to do like the same things, same-ish things. Then they seem very sensitive to slightly different conditions. Why are both the pirate? Oh my god, okay. I thought the one Electro one was over there. Okay, that's fine.
There is no escape. Now you shall perish. We shall. Shiver. Go away. You play. Do your work. Inazuma shines eternal.
Do your shield. Do your shield.
Shine down. Yield. Light
I didn't have Ryan's burst back there anyways, okay.
Do your work. Illusion shattered. What a nuisance. Now you shall
Push me away, didn't you? So I only hit. Yeah, I only hit you. I got pushed away from everything. This was not great. Okay.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Why are you over here? Butthole. Butthole. Pyro specters generally teleport to you if you're slightly away from them in my experience. There's that thunder outside. Alright. Good to know. That's what I kind of noticed already, to be honest. Oh my god. Oh my. Can you hear the thunder? I know it is quite loud. It's very rumbly bumblies. Alright. Do that. Brain! No, that was not what I was supposed to do. I didn't Chevreuse first. I switched to Hu Tao again, but definitely should have kept Toma. Just because Hu Tao is apparently screwing up my brain. Oh, I didn't get it. Frick, yeah, see, that's overload not quite working with Thunder and Fury there. Yeah, okay. I should have probably not done that, to be honest, because it's going to go in this next phase. Or it's never going to go in the next phase because the game hates me. You go? Jesus, man. Okay. Of course, all the way over there. This is not the long animation one. Oh, you just went all the way over there. Oh my god. Okay. No, I'm gonna have to walk all the frick way over there. Also, I didn't do Zhongli. Why did I? What is wrong with my brain? I should have had that one. That was just an enormous F up on my part, and I didn't like. I don't remember which one of those is the one that teleports. It was apparently that one. So I was not thinking about the fact that it's going to teleport away from me the direction I'm looking, and it teleported the literal opposite end of the freaking abyss. Ugh. I should have just kept Sino too. Thinking about when to use Hu Tao is effing up with my brain. No. Okay, sure. I meant to do right in there. Okay. They give it up to me. Yep, do your thing. Doing this first this time, since I'm going to take some damage. I should have saved Candace though, actually. If I was doing really like I said, not an easy abyss cycle. This is the hardest chamber. They are too spread apart here, I think. Yeah, the Electro one's still half alive. Nope. 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 Life without Kazuo, this is exhausting. I mean, yeah, that's the real decision maker between why they made this abyss the way they did. It's because they wanted a Kazuo abyss. Oh, the Electro one wasn't even close to dead yet. Neither of them were. Crap. Okay. What? Did I not put Yaoyo skill out? Apparently not. Whoops. This hurts. I should have been able to clear it that previous time. Dash, please. That was kind of a waste. But maybe not. Ah, dang it. Oh, we just... Oh, no, I thought we cleared it without having to... Please. Please, die! I didn't want to have... Oh, okay, it's still fine. It's still fine on time. I need to go here so he doesn't get knocked away. Why are you over there? What? No, you effing butthole. This shield. How did one of them die? Why are they so separate yet? I swear to God, I switched to Candace there already. just having a heck of a time trying to keep these guys grouped today.
There is no escape. Inazuma shines eternal.
Stop shielding at the worst freaking times! Oh my god, he's so freaking annoying. I do not understand why they felt the need to make constant damage happen on the fucking ground. Like it's one thing to have that effect. Because, like, that effect is something that I can think would be fine as a way to, like, say, I don't know, incentivize shielders or whatever. Incentivize defensive units, some form of interruption resistance, whatever. That's fine. Why do that on the enemies that punish shielding? Screw you.
Illusion shattered.
Switch to Rosaria.
Now you shall perish.
Hi, please. You get a little bit of energy from them.
Don't be scared. Grant us your blessing. Punishment. Don't get you can't run. Shine down.
Really? Can you, like... Oh my god, why does this keep happening? Keep happening. Okay. Do your shield.
We shall. There is no escape.
Can the one come towards me? Please?
Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal.
He's already dead, and his butthole's over here. Oh my god.
Grant us your blessing. Shiver. There is no escape. Now you shall perish.
I'm doing so much more terribly than I was before, but there we go. Finally, Jesus. They put the ground attack on them to sell Nuvi. He doesn't get hit by the rocks during his charge attack. Jesus Christ, you're probably right. This fucking company.
Nowhere to run.
Nice and spicy. Hands where I can see 'em. Eat this.
Your sins weigh upon
Didn't
your
have a
soul.
skill cooldown back yet. Okay.
Repentance is due. Guilty. You stand condemned. Guilty.
I thought he was gonna go in there. Yeah, he did go in there. Okay.
Justice will prevail. Stop right there.
I really don't want to. I'm just assuming you're going. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think this is the teleporting one. Why? What? Why?
Nowhere to run. Through me, justice is served. You stand condemned. Your penance is due.
I'm kind of sick of trying this, to be honest, today. I should have put Toma in. I literally think Toma would have made it fine. I don't think Hu Tao was helping as much as I was. Why did it teleport that direction? Like, one, screw you the game for giving me the teleporting one again. It's not as bad as, like, the one with the stupid art. I didn't Rosaria. It's fine, whatever. And you're not even dead yet. Neither of the Electro ones are dead. It's not even... yeah, whatever. Well, love the RNG on the mechanical cube. Whatever they do. This is taking longer than it took me for the previous two. By the way, definitely didn't take this long before. It was almost dead. Hopefully it will die from something. Why are you over? God dang it, Raiden. And then I love that Raiden is pushing those away. You're burning. Okay, see, now my own frustration is just causing me to make misplays to an extent, too. Yeah, whatever, I don't really want to redo with any different team configuration, so... And this stream has been going for 3 hours at this point. It's not that hard of an Abyss for this account. I'm just playing a mix of bad, and the Abyss is annoying. And I hate how much the water flowers get knocked back from every ability. Stop going underground. You gonna do your shield, bro? Thank you. I don't remember if I did Raiden's skill or not. Oh my god. Alright, probably shouldn't have done that. Whatever, it's fine. I wanted to use Raiden's burst there, but they didn't have Dendera on them, so I figured it wasn't the opportune moment. Is he not dead? He's not dead. Frick. Really? How many seconds was wasted because I didn't hit that dude with one extra normal attack? F you, game.
Your sins weigh upon your soul. Stand condemned. Guilty.
No, that's still got it. Okay.
Your penance is due. You stand condemned.
Get them! Justice will prevail! Shitty!
Okay. Really? Let me use my skill! Christ almighty.
Through me, justice is served. Your penance is due.
I thought I would have... Oh my god. I wasn't confident in Sino. Kill me, actually kill. Okay, no, I'm done with this stream. My mindset is not in the right place. I think putting Hu Tao in that really effed me, because I was like, hey, swap to Hu Tao here at certain times to give more, whatever. It didn't work out. That's all I can say. Can you stop giving me a notification for the drop? I understand it's there. I am going to do that off camera when I'm in the mood to do it. Honestly, actually, I might just wait until Arlecchino releases to finish clearing this. I do think that Spectre Chamber will genuinely be a lot easier, I think, with Arlecchino, with the only annoyance being the Pyro Spectres with Arlecchino. But I could literally just do Arlecchino as the 4 slot. Instead of Rosaria there, do Arlecchino as the 4 slot in that team for some weird Virgin Arlecchino stuff, and I think it still might be pretty good. Yeah, I don't. You can go see the previous clears of this cycle. It's not that hard for the account. I'm just having a hard time right now. And I think it would have been fine if I just had used Toma instead of swapping Hu Tao there. I thought it was a good idea. I don't think it was. It was partially a bad idea because my brain could not make the right decisions. But also because, yeah, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I'll clear it later. I've already uploaded. You can check out the previous stream where I did it the first time. There's a link in that previous Steam stream, or in the, I think the edited video I made where I just rambled about this account after it got to AR60. I think I put a link in there as well for the Chamber 2 and 3 clears on this account if you want to see them. They were with similar teams, but I think Toma instead of Hu Tao. I'll clear. It's fine. It's not that hard. Just my brain. That's what I can say today. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Zajef, for reacting and having a. He seemed to have a pretty positive reaction to my account, and that's nice to see. Yep. I should send him a message again. I messaged him or emailed him like a year ago, and he never responded. I should do that again. Anywho's. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Stream on... Oh, I was recording this whole thing. Definitely didn't need to do that. Stream will probably be on this weekend, probably to chat about vacation thingies, and maybe more specifics about Arlecchino. But honestly, I probably won't talk that much about Arlecchino, other than what people ask me questions for in this weekend, because... Can I select the right window? There we go. Because it doesn't matter. No, because I already made a stream a week or two ago about Arlecchino, and not much has really changed since then, so bye-bye.